Hello and welcome to Anarchs of New York, brought to you by Level Up Dice. This is episode 3, A Goodly Apple Rotten at the Heart. Let's meet our vampires, but I will call you all out because you probably look slightly different. They have a slightly different order on my screen than what the people are seeing. So this time I'm going to go the other direction from where I went last time and start with Diana. We'll say who you are and who you're playing.
I am Diana. I am a level up dice employee. I'm the social media manager, and I am playing Esther.
And May.
Hi there, I'm Leigh Damage, and I am playing your Lasombra this evening, Abaddon.
Mason.
Yeah, hi, my name is Mason Dula. I'm the game master over at WizardX TV, and also I'm playing Eli Decker tonight. I am a caitiff.
Justus.
I am Justus. I am also a Level Up Dice employee. I'm the operations and experience manager. And tonight I am playing Dmitry, the gangrel from Russia.
Emily.
Hi folks, I'm Emily. I'm also with Level Up Dice. I am the corporate manager, and I am playing Cherry Thorn, the Toreador pop star.
And last but certainly not least, Mr. Todd Kenreck.
I'm Todd Kenreck. I am the creative manager over at D&D Beyond, and I am playing Hugo.
Just the best boy.
He's the best boy.
He is.
Best boy Hugo.
He is the best boy, Hugo. Again, with Level Up Dice, you can get your clan dice there. They are beautiful. They are wonderful. They roll beautifully across the hand. You can get dice for every clan that really matters. I said what I said. Yes, so visit Level Up Dice to find out more and get some of your very own. Now, again, this is session 2. We also did session 0 for character creation, so this is our 3rd episode overall. And one thing that we'd pointed out before was pretty much everyone in our group, with the exception of Leigh Damage, this was their first time playing. And even though I have done a lot of vampire, I do not have an encyclopedic knowledge of New York. So we are all very much making our way through this together. So if they have questions, if they make mistakes, if I have questions, if I make mistakes, we're all just rolling with it and having a good time. So when last we met, our kindred, I would say heroes, but that would be a bit strong in some cases, I think. Our kindred were summoned to a very ancient church where they had all individually agreed, for reasons truly known only to them, to commit to protect this certain section of the city, where this ancient structure stands almost as a time capsule snipped out of the very early 1800s and put down right in the middle of the hustle and bustle of Manhattan. We met Abaddon, a Lasombra, and her sire, the Vicar, who tasked her in particular with keeping an eye on these young upstarts, that even though Clan Lasombra is firmly loyal to the Camarilla, they still might be useful in protecting their own backyard, and quite frankly, if they don't prove to be useful, they will at least prove to be expendable. Shortly after that, we met Hugo, a Nosferatu who was literally a man out of time, recently fished out of the waters of the Hudson, trying to find his way to reacclimate and readjust to the hustle and bustle of the modern life. We met Esther, the Bruja, revolutionary artist and photographer in person, always fighting to try and make the world, if not a better place, at least a more just place. Cherry, the pop star, who was in that thing, the one where you saw where like they sang, her, that was her, right? And all about socialite about town and woman with her finger on the pulse of the beating heart of New York. And being able to find a beating heart and a pulse is a very useful skill for an immortal blood-sucking monster, of course. And speaking of immortal blood-sucking monsters, there was Dmitry of Clan Gangrel, a man with a shadowy and as of yet completely unrevealed connection to the underworld of New York. But many of our kindred already knew that he at least fit the description of a shadowy boogeyman that was only sent after the worst people and committed acts that surely must have been exaggerated fairy tales. Surely no one could actually be that. And last but certainly not least, Eli, another man out of time, but a different time, a wanderer seeking to actually try and again facilitate justice in its own way as he makes his way through the nights of Los Angeles, completely unbound and free from the connection from any particular clan, but also free from the protection that any particular clan might provide you. After having met in the sanctuary of the church, our heroes had made their way out because they were on the way to a secret club known as the Pillow Party, with Cherry having located the password to get them in. They'd been tasked with finding out who had committed a series of increasingly violent crimes that had begun simply as what looked like smash and grab robberies and had escalated to incredibly violent murders. And in the process of getting on the trail of this would-be killer, well, actually killer, we don't know what they might actually be, on the way out, you ran into a patron that you'd encountered in the church, a man who had been sleeping inside, who Avedon had shown an uncharacteristic amount of mercy, really. And when you came outside, you found this man standing on the sidewalk. And as you approached, he came up and said, "Hey, excuse me, I just wanted to tell you guys one more thing. Federal agents, down on the ground!" And drew his weapon and pointed at you as you saw a spray of excitement and activity start to erupt all over the street as people that were sitting on park benches that looked like they were sleeping like winos, cars come screeching in, and people wearing flak jackets with NYPD and FBI and Homeland Security written across the chests come pouring in you all's directions. What would you like to do?
I think I would have been finishing putting on my hat at this point, so I just kind of pull my hands up. I think there may be a little bit of a confusion here, sir. What seems to be the problem?
I'm gonna back away from the group like I'm not with them.
Hands up. All right. Mason is trying to talk. Esther is trying to hashtag act natural. What's Cherry doing?
When there's a moment of silence, she's like, my dad would totally hear about this. I think you've got a big mistake going on here. Like, this is not right.
And what is Dimitri doing when confronted with this scene?
He looks like a cornered wolf. He's got his teeth bared, and he's crouching down, and his hands are pulling back, and there's a very low growl going on. And if you paid very close attention, you might see his fingernails starting to extend.
Avedon?
How many of them are there?
They are rushing out of all corners. For now, at this exact second, you can clearly see 6, but the scene is quickly becoming chaotic, where it's difficult to say who's coming your way and who's actually mortals that were just stuck here that are actually trying to get away.
How close together are they?
You could probably catch any given 3 of them, and this man with the gun who is speaking to you is standing out separated from the pack. When you confronted him inside the church, he told you his name was Henry.
Okay. I would like to center a Stygian shroud.
So you're going to drop
the group of them.
You're going to drop a suffocating cloud of darkness on him. Do you want to drop it on him or on some of the other people that are closing in on you?
I would like to go for the biggest group possible. So if there is a group of like, a majority of them put together, that's what I'm going to go for.
You can see a van has come screeching out and people are starting to pour out. It may not even be clear how many are in there. If you're just looking for just to get the maximum number of people, that would be where you were going. Okay.
Yeah,
And
the biggest group I can find.
Okay, and Hugo, witnessing this interesting mixture of talk, don't talk, back away, chaos. What is Hugo doing?
I am completely unfazed, and I just keep walking down the steps towards them.
So for visual, what does this cloud that she's dropped look like? Is it very visible and obvious?
So yeah, I'm gonna give it to you in order here. Is this all kind of like all sorts of happens at once? Also, from a housekeeping standpoint, normally you would rouse for your blood at the beginning of the session. However, for you, this is all kind of an unbroken sequence of events from when you all departed the church and ran into this. So that's why we're not doing a fresh rouse here. I will, since you said that Eli was going to talk first and Cherry was going to talk first, let's resolve that before the suffocating darkness gets dropped, because things definitely go in a different direction once the oblivion enters the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
So is your intent to essentially kind of engage these guys in conversation, maybe pacify them a little bit?
My intent was hopefully to, if not be able to deflect it, be able to give us enough time to gauge, maybe pick out how many there are for a moment. That way I could formulate what exactly I want to do.
Give me your wits and persuasion, and you give me the same, Cherry. You all are trying different things. One, he seeming like the reasonably sharp-dressed man, you being dropping the perennial, do you know who my dad is? That has been known to elicit a pause from people in authority.
Yeah, it's best that the authorities not think about who I am, because we've had some dealings.
Right. Exactly. Next on Team Z, Cherry, domestic terrorists. Yes.
I had 3 successes.
3 successes? Okay.
Yeah.
And how many does Cherry get?
That is 2 successes.
You hear this, and the man stops for a second, and he just goes, yeah, you people, you blanks, you're gonna find out that we're not just all sheep, okay? You can't just do whatever you want. You're operating out of a church, how dare you? And another thing, and at this exact second, you see a inky black mass just appear over the van that has come screeching in. It is thick and black. It is tangible and almost amorphous on the middle of the street of New York. And you very clear coming out of the cloud. And the man for a split second turns his head and looks at the van. What does Dimitri do?
Oh, he pounces. Yeah, there's weakness there. He looks away, and I'm going to fully extend. I'd like to try out these feral weapons and go for his throat.
All right, let me, I do not believe you need to rouse for your feral weapons. I don't think. Let me double check. I do not have an encyclopedic knowledge of Protean. Those are not gifts that my characters usually have. Oh, I'm wrong. So you do actually have to make 1 rouse check. So you're going to roll 1 of your blood dice just to see if you get hungrier purely by the act of using your powers.
It is a fail.
As you feel the claws extend wicked and serrated from your hand, you feel the beast rise up inside of you. It's sinking its claws into your brain, and you hear a familiar voice speaking to you in Russian. Dimitri, they disrespect us. They disrespect our home. Break them all. And give me your strength and brawl.
So I roll 2 hunger dice now?
Yes, you're going to replace 2 of those dice with 2 hunger dice. Yes. Avedon, I believe mortals do not have a save against the Stygian Shroud. Is that correct? I didn't think so. What does Avedon look like doing this? Because you absolutely have them.
As the cloud begins to form of inky blackness, you also start to see her eyes go dark, and she just has an absolutely sadistic grimace on her face as they are all choking to death in this giant cloud of misery.
it is very clear to all of you, even if you haven't witnessed Oblivion before, that those people are not coming out of that van. What did you get there, Dimitri?
I got 5 successes, no criticals.
You are all over this guy, and he whips back at the last second, and his weapon does discharge. Pow! And let me just see, on the off chance. Hugo, the bullet just nicks your arm. Pow! Ping! As Dimitri just tackles this guy. As you're making your way down to the street.
I don't even react. Like it just pops out of one of my shoulders, and I just there's like actual dust and spray. It just comes off of me for a second.
Yep.
As I'm still just slowly descending to the first person I can get to. Is he tackling the guy who was in the church?
So the man was in the church, and then he left and confronted you all outside.
Yeah,
so
is that who's being
Dimitri
attacked?
is on that guy. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How far away is he from me then?
Dimitri flew. I'd say he's within about 10 feet. Like you could. I mean, Dimitri's all over the guy now, but you could get to him pretty easily.
Is there anyone else nearby?
Yes, there are other people. There are 4 more that you see essentially closing in fast, like with weapons out, shouting commands.
Okay. Who's the most shouty?
There is a man with a thick red beard and an ill-fitting flak jacket on, and one of those windbreakers that would have been too small, but if he didn't have it on over a flak jacket, he looks overripe and ready to pop.
Yeah, I'm gonna run over. Well, not really run. I'm just gonna walk very quickly. Apparently,
You're gonna mosey up to that guy.
I'm just going to float over to him very quickly and say, "Didn't you hear what he said?" And I'm gonna grab his wrist if I can and just snap his hand off.
Give me your strength and brawl, Esther. Now all hell's breaking loose. You kind of have a choice. You could sort of turn back into the church. You could just try and like run off towards the cemetery. You can join into this. What is Esther doing?
How close am I to the one that Dimitri went for? The main...
About 10 feet. Essentially, you come out of the cathedral, there's the stairs down, there's this sort of like, sidewalk, landing, congregation area, and then street.
Oh, and real quick, how do I determine a success again? Sorry.
If you're rolling dice, numbered dice, it is a 6 to 10 is a success, a 1 to 5 is a fail.
Do I include potence in that?
For you, I believe you have the ability to do so. Actually, I know you've at least got lethal body, so your attacks against mortals are particularly vicious.
Okay.
So yes, you do add your potence to
And
this.
can I do protein on top of that?
You sure can, because Nosferatu don't make sense. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So I'll do the claws. I'm going to just slash at his arm.
Got it. Okay. Yes, Esther.
I'm probably gonna just take a dive at the one that Dimitri went after and try and elbow him on the way in.
Okay. Give me your strength and brawl also, then, Esther.
Okay. I also have lethal body.
Yes. Again, it's for the most part, kindred are fairly. Mortals are fairly defenseless against kindred, but those of you that have this particular potence power called lethal body are supremely damaging to them. Also, Hugo, you just very dramatically went out of focus, and it worked really well for what we're describing here.
So do I add the claws to anything? Is there anything I should know?
The claws are added to your damage, so they do not help in the attack. They help in the damage.
Well, I got
once the
3 successes.
Let me just see. On the off chance, this guy, he does not evade you. Same thing. He goes to discharge his weapon as you grab him and just hamburger. You feel a satisfying rip down his arm, and it just goes completely limp. And he tumbles to his backside there, holding his arm, looking up at you, screaming. And he's, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit, it's real. Holy shit, it's real.
Oh, I want to make sure that the arm just comes right off.
It's, I would say, between lethal body and potence and the claws, you can have taken it.
I just kneeled down to him. He said, hands on the ground. 1 to go.
Eli.
Yeah, seeing that this is already kind of devolving into a bit of a mess, and I don't particularly want to kill all of these dudes, if I were to use fleetness, could I disable more than one of them?
If your goal is to remove them from the fighting before your friends remove them
Correct.
from the material plane,
Yes.
you would have a chance to do some of that. So is your goal essentially to kind of like take their weapons, maybe like break a wrist type thing, like just take them out?
I would hope I could use fleetness, get up to them, essentially, if I have to break a wrist, take their weapon, whatever.
Right.
But I'd probably either tell them to like stay down or tell them to run away, either way.
I would say that I would say that you could non-lethally incapacitate them like twice as fast as they're lethally incapacitating them, although they are in fact going through these people. Esther, how many successes was that?
So, before I give you that answer, do the one hunger die I rolled a failure, but I got 6 successes.
So the hunger die being a failure is only a problem if you have no other successes.
Okay.
And even then, it's only a problem if you get a 1. If
Cool.
you get a 1 on a hunger die and no successes, that's when something really fantastic happens. But otherwise, it's not a problem. Yeah.
Okay. 6
Then
successes.
Dimitri is on this guy, and you're ripping and clawing at him, and Esther just comes flying over you and elbow down into the concrete. Spiderweb crack right in front of it. And he completely goes limp. Dimitri and Esther, both give me your wits and awareness. Cherry, insanity is breaking loose.
Uh-huh.
You being fairly fast, you can comprehend what Eli is doing, rushing pow 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 as the two of them are just smashing this guy. Avedon is taking supreme joy in in this right next to you. What is Cherry doing?
Literally still just standing here like this as that all happens. Just like, ew. But she's not attacking.
Cherry has sensed the unseen, correct?
Hold, please.
I believe you
I have
do.
heightened senses. Is that?
That is a different ability. Okay, so you have heightened senses, but not sense the unseen. That is okay. There is no wrong answer to this. I was just verifying. Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Avedon, it's those people are dealt with, 100%. Like you're like 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3 up. Okay. And you also see Dimitri and Esther all over the original band who offended you and your haven and your entire clan, if we're being honest. But he has been thoroughly dispatched. You see Hugo is surrounded still by a couple of other men that are more or less stunned, to tell you the truth. They try and take the odd pot shot but in the midst of the chaos, well, let's see if they're effective at all. They are not. Their bullets definitely are flying wide. And you also notice that Eli is incapacitating people very quickly. What does Avedon do?
I would like to activate Arms of Ahriman, and I would like to pick up one of the assholes that is over by Hugo, and I would like to use him with the Arm of Ahriman to beat the asshole that insulted me and took advantage of my good graces and then attacked me outside of my church.
This poor
So basically,
guy.
I would like to beat a motherfucker with another motherfucker using a shadow tentacle.
Go ahead. You know what? I'm just going to say that works. I'm going to say that works. So
Hashtag La Sombra.
Hashtag La Sombra. In the midst of all of this, you, Cherry, at this point, are the only one that clearly has a view of this. Avedon reaches out, and it's like across the ground. The night itself comes together like long, tenuous snakes and picks one of these men up who just shrug. And Esther and Dimitri barely have time to get out of the way before boom, 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 right in front of you.
Is that necessary?
Oh, yes. 100%. 180%.
How many of the mortals around us are still like alive?
That
Well,
was
let
gonna
me
be
ask
my
a-
question too.
Let me ask another question here. Both Dimitri and Esther, I'd ask you for that second wits and awareness. What did you all get?
5 successes.
9
5.
successes.
9. You all, as this happens, you calm down enough, especially you, Esther, having done your fair share of scuffling with authority. You know, the problem is not these guys. The problem is you can't outrun the radio. And sure enough, you hear, clipped to his belt, 1 out of 12 units in pursuit of domestic terrorists at the chapel. Scrambling SWAT now. And you, Dimitri, again, having done your fair share of operations, realize the man has an earpiece, that you hear tactical commands coming, but you know enough about the NYPD that he is not being fed NYPD tactical info. So you have 2 different things. The police radio says they're scrambling SWAT to engage a cell of domestic terrorists. You guys, the earpiece, someone else is coordinating an operation to come here and destroy blanks.
What's the current situation on the ground right now? How many people are still up? Are there civilians anywhere?
Between what Hugo has done, between what Eli has done, between the supreme spectacle of what Avedon has done, everyone is either down or actively scattering.
We should go.
But
Are you animals done? We have a party to get to.
Yeah, let's go. We should go. We should go now. We should go fast.
Does anyone of you know how to operate one of these electrical motor coaches of...
The horseless carriages?
Yeah.
I was gonna
Yes.
say, is the van still covered in death, or could I like quickly run up to it, throw the people out, and we just hop in there and take off?
you absolutely could. In fact, Eli, you're not a young man, but as you get in there and you see these people, there is not a mark on them, except every single one of them looks terrified and feel very cold when you touch them. Besides that, they could just be sleeping.
All right. I'm gonna not so gently just kind of quickly dump them out onto the street. Come on, we gotta go, and kind of like get in to the driver's seat and back the car up to them.
Just 1 second. I had a promise. And I slash the other guy's hand off. Okay,
Do you
now
feel
you've
better now?
complied.
His hands are on the ground.
I'll see you around.
Avedon, you give me your wits and awareness.
When I see Hugo do that, I look at him and I go, "Oh, look! At least you didn't send him home empty-handed."
Well,
Thank you all
stream's
for
over,
tuning
guys.
in.
We're done.
Yeah, that's our show.
That's
Thank
it.
you all
We're
for
finished.
this has been Anarchs in New York. It's there we go. Also, never change, May. Never change. Yeah.
Boy.
Shotgun.
So, but we
Yes. Well, hey, what is this? What is this face? What's happening here?
Oh, it's a bestial failure.
So you all remember when I said when you have nothing but
Oh,
fails.
wait! I didn't
Oh.
burn a willpower. I didn't
Oh,
burn a
okay,
willpower.
all right,
I'm gonna
okay,
burn a
yeah,
willpower.
you
Burn a
can do
willpower.
that. Remember at
Terrible.
any time you all. Oh yeah, no, I'm glad you said something because that was about
I just had a panic attack when I saw the one blood die come up, and I just then my heart just sank.
Rightly
About
so.
To say, just for the viewers, can you just remind the viewers what the bestial failure
Yeah, for the viewers.
is?
Oh yeah, for the viewers. Yeah, for not at all for you guys.
No?
Well, let me say this in reverse.
Is it
remember,
bestial or bestial?
It's
Because
people say it
bestial
different
sounds
ways.
great.
No, it is great. No, it's the best. It's the best. Oh, it's the bestial.
It's the best
failure.
thing that can happen.
Yes. Well, 2 things. One, remember at any point you can spend one of your unspent willpower to re-roll up to 3 of the black dice, which is what she did to avoid this particular outcome. The reason why it is the black dice is as you get hungrier and start rolling more hunger dice, things are more and more likely to happen outside of your control. What a bestial failure is. There's basically two things. There's a messy critical where you do what you meant to do, but the beast sort of comes out and helps you in a way that you didn't necessarily want. Again, the example I use often is you're trying to pick a lock. You have a messy critical. You just break the lock off. The lock's open, but now you got a broken door. Somebody else might see it. Negative. What a bestial failure is, the beast takes over completely, and you become subjected to a short list of compulsions. And then I give you some very awesome, highly inconvenient set of criteria you have to fulfill in order for the beast to give you back your free will and self-control. No, but it's fine. No, it's fine. You should want it. Let it happen. So
that would be
One
much of a
success.
change for me.
how many successes there, Avedon?
Oh no.
Saved it.
Avedon, you look over towards the graveyard next to Trinity Church, where you know there's 300 years worth of bodies buried over there, possibly many, many, many more. And you feel a rage start to bubble up in you. Like, how dare they profane this place? How dare they come here? But something in you sort of like, remember the mission. Remember the mission. Remember the mission. Maybe don't kill all of them now. But the rest of you very much see her eyes sort of widen for a second. Like,
Is she okay? Should we?
Hey, Avedon.
I poke her.
I'm honking the horn
yes.
at this point.
Let's get in the car.
You need a party.
We should
Is
go.
what you need. You need a pillow party.
That's what that just was, wasn't it?
No, not yet. We're
No,
not there
the party
yet.
is just getting started, honey.
Okay.
You don't
sit
want to be
back.
as ugly as I feel.
I
Okay, guys, we don't
Yes.
have long. Can we please get the hell out of here?
I'll go hop in the car.
How
You
many
will-
people does this car sit?
it's a van. The six of you can easily get in. And when you all hop in and drive off, you do realize this has been a hastily outfitted surveillance van. It is not one that is like especially meant for this. It's sort of like some short range communication equipment has very much been like bolted on. Like, this probably really was a painter's van like a week ago. As you all get inside
I
and
would
presumably depart.
What kind of stuff is in it?
We just stay there parked.
No, you're like, so that was like really weird, right? It's like as the helicopter arrives. You all can give me wits and awareness, although Hugo removed 2 dice because none of these like doodads and knickknacks mean anything to you. Like, looking at a descrambler is just as incomprehensible as the dash panel of the van, but you still might have some flash of insight. So you
There's
can
something
Would
wrong with
you
this abacus.
like me to re-roll my wits and awareness again, D-Day?
yes, because now you're looking for something different.
And if it's technology based, can I do a technology roll instead?
You can, because you, unlike so many other Lasombra, have some insight into the modern world. In fact, anyone that's got a higher technology than perception is welcome to roll technology to figure out what it is.
I got 1 success.
I got 4.
All right, 1, 1, 4, 2,
2 successes, 1 beastie boy.
2. Okay, no, but that's
One
it's
beastie.
only a problem if you have like nothing else. 3.
Great.
It was 4 for you, Eli.
Yes.
Is you are driving through here when you sort of put your foot down on the pedal. This looks just sort of like a painter's van, but it's got that kind of a hollow roar of like a Brinks armored truck engine, like as it
Okay.
roars away, which is it seems like an unusual amount of power for something outfitted like this. As you all sort of search the back of the van, you do notice again these short-range communication equipment. All of it is switched off, oddly. Although you realize at the time these people were attempting to fall out of the van engage you all, which I suppose they accomplished falling out of the van when engaging you all. But you also find just under the floorboards of the van are very heavy silver chains and large hypodermic needles of a blue liquid that sparkles when you hold it up to the light. It's almost like it's got flecks of glitter in it. Avedon and Cherry, give me your wits and either wits and awareness or wits and streetwise, whichever one of those is higher.
Can I have snagged the earpiece from Smashed Face?
Absolutely. You can have snagged the radio too if you like, because again, this is things that would have happened.
3 successes, 1 critical.
3 and a crit. Cherry, you know that's no drug you've ever seen, and you've seen pretty much all of them. Seen, you know, other people around, like you just stuff you were just.
You just see the stuff around.
Yeah, you were just there.
It's not a party unless it's like out on the table.
Right. Exactly.
See what they're looking at?
Yes. I mean, to the rest of you, you all clearly can see it is like a syringe, like with a vial with a bluish liquid that sparkles, like it's got glitter flecks in it. What'd you get, Avedon?
I got a messy crit. That's it.
You absolutely have seen this before, Avedon. This is what those assholes had in Denver. This is what the 2-eye injects kindred with to sedate you all and incapacitate you.
Avedon will walk over and kind of inch it out of their hands and go, okay, we're going to put this down. This is no juice. And she'll set it down on the counter.
With a messy crit, Avedon, you kind of, she comes at you a little faster than she probably thought she did, Cherry. It's very much, you know.
All right, like, share, but it's fine. I just want to know what it is. I haven't seen this before, and is no juice the one that like makes up and down and then up?
It's weird because it's not actually a juice. It's a powder. So I don't.
No. This is something that those very bad, angry men back there use to tranquilize us. Kind of. It gets into your system. It makes you feel absolutely miserable. It's not good.
Oh, maybe I already have some in me.
I think it's
I often
different.
feel that way. It's a little different. Yeah.
All right.
I could use a sleep aid. I mean, if it makes you sleep. No? Okay.
The side effects aren't worth it.
It doesn't sound like any trip I want to take. Where we're going, there's going to be plenty of great stuff.
Hugo is very uncomfortable in this van, by the way. He doesn't have his sea legs for a painter's van, so he's just like hands out, legs out.
Mason, Eli, sorry, give me your dex in drive. You can drive the van no matter what. This is just how successful you are in driving, both quickly but cool, essentially. Yeah.
So when I only get a success on the blood die.
Oh, great.
So just one success and it's on the blood die?
One. Yeah.
Yeah, Hugo, he's taking some turn. Oh, boom, you know, like these are rough seas, Hugo.
Avedon reaches out an arm of Ahriman and kind of just grabs the back of Hugo's coat with it and kind of just holds him steady, gives him a little center anchor there.
Oh, I feel like a decoration on Christmas. I don't know what that means.
Me neither.
You all, again, especially you, Dimitri, now having looked at this through a different pair of eyes, because Eli is driving the van. You realize this is a black bag vehicle. People come into this van to disappear.
They had the radios. They had 2 radios. There's something else at work here. This is not NYPD. This is the others. In this van it was intended for us. Someone knew that we were going to be here tonight.
Abaddon knew. Do you know who they were, Abaddon?
You know
No.
about the blue stuff.
That was different. The vicar had sent me to Los Angeles for something recently, and on the way back, we had a run-in with Denver. And back in LA, they had talked about it a little bit, but it's pretty much just hearsay that I know of, not really firsthand encountered. Again, I knew you were here today because of the vicar, and I doubt that he's the one behind anything that's this related. Seems counterproductive to his interest.
It seems awfully coincidental that all of a sudden, the day when we just happen to find ourselves in a church, not a usual locale for me, certainly, and I doubt Dimitri finds himself comfortable in them often.
I do not recommend disparaging the vicar much more.
The feds just happen to show up. It just seems odd. Do you know anything?
I think it's more so the fact that if the vicar called you in and the timing is coincidental, it's because he knew they were coming. And that is precisely why he wanted you here, to help protect. Not so much to put you in the line of fire, but obviously he had great faith in you.
While we're on this train of thought, has anybody looked back there to make sure they don't have anything they can follow us with?
That is a wonderful question. Dimitri,
Yes.
Presumably you've somewhat been listening in on the earpiece. Again, to be clear, you all have access to this earpiece that is getting tactical information from an unknown source. You also have an NYPD walkie that also is still currently broadcasting. The walkie is talking about cordoning off the area. They have gotten reports that there was a domestic terrorist cell and that you all have holed up in a building 3 blocks away. And they are rerouting their entire response to try and find you all in the building. They have descriptions of all of you, but the descriptions are all oddly inaccurate. There is a blue-haired woman. There is an orange-haired woman. There is a man with raven black hair. There is a tall man wearing a bright white robe with inky black, midnight black skin. And there are 2 very clean-shaven men that fled the area after an engagement with the police, and they're moving to intercept. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I'll say I take it we owe that to your man on the inside then? Abaddon?
Yeah, definitely. Also, what are those descriptions? God, they have the sight of a stormtrooper.
Hey, it sounds like there's some bad people they just discovered. And they got hurt real bad. Should we go help them?
I think they've got it under control. I think we're good.
That's sweet of you,
Okay.
though, Hugo.
That sounds very scary.
Abaddon just puts her hand on Hugo's shoulder and kind of just rubs his shoulder gently.
You said something besides that sweet of you there, Esther. We lost you for a second.
I said that's a good thought. That's super sweet. I would, however, like to take the bottle of booze that I stole from Henry when he was leaving the church and just pour it on the electronics that are just hanging out in the back of the truck. Because I don't know what they'd actually use to track us, but I know how to break shit.
You hear a satisfying in a stinky, acrid smoke smell comes out of it. And moments later, Dimitri, you do hear through the earpiece them saying they lost the van signal.
They've lost us. Excellent job.
That almost sounded like a compliment.
It was not. It was simply faked.
All right.
Sherry, how far are we going right now? I'll be honest, I'm just kind of getting us the hell out of there.
Well, it's not terribly far. If you just head straight past Canal Street, keep going, and then as soon as we are getting close, trust me, you'll feel the vibes.
We should stop the van. We should leave it.
I agree.
But it's so much faster.
They are going to find it eventually, and we are much harder to find on foot.
My phone has an app called Uber. It looks like a car.
I don't think we want to get anyone else involved right now, and like I said, we're gonna get you a good phone, So
Okay.
it'll have lift. Don't worry.
What if? Let's stop the car here.
And I'll kind of like find you a place and pull over.
Yeah, you do you want to kind of stop on a main thoroughfare, or are you trying to kind of be out of the way-ish? Like,
Yeah, if I could find, a very creepy, appropriately vampire-esque alley to hop out of and drop the van there.
the one
Oh,
the
so
one
New
with the
anyway.
one with the mist and the bats coming out of it.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
one,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
You know,
There's lots of
okay.
those here.
The secret
Yeah.
entrance to the Batcave, that's the one.
Yes, you definitely have no trouble whatsoever pulling over and getting out of the van. You do see a couple of people sort of look as you're walking by, but for the most part, you 6 colorful characters pouring out of a van is a normal Friday night in New York.
I'm gonna actually, can I toss the keys to one of the other people?
Hey, man. Cool. Wait, is this some kind of like bullshit entrapment, officer? And he immediately drops the keys.
Do with those what you will, and I'm just gonna tip my hat and keep walking.
Oh, all right. Shit. And picks it back up.
It's stolen. I don't know if you want that. Just you
But
might put it back.
Then he's like, "Oh, thanks, lady."
Yeah.
Man, he trying to get me jammed up over some bullshit, and he turns and like walks away. Important question: does anyone recover the 3 vials of the blue velvet, the blue liquid?
I was
Planning
gonna
on
ask if
snagging
I
them.
could-
I wasn't gonna leave them there. I was planning on destroying them.
You're gonna
You said-
destroy him? Okay.
You said there were silver chains as well.
Yes.
But they're-
Heavy
but
silver
like
chains.
big, but like okay, so probably okay.
They would be impractical to carry.
I would like to snag. If I see Dimitri taking those, I would at least like to snag one of them and kind of pocket it.
You're gonna keep one and go ahead.
If I see them trying to lift the extremely very heavy chains, and if they're struggling with that, Abaddon will just kind of walk over and just kind of spin one around her arm like a spaghetti noodle and kind of lift it up like it's next to absolutely probably nothing.
I was just looking to see if they had any smaller ones that I could take with me, or if they
You-
had like silver handcuffs or anything like that.
Can Abaddon try and break off like a couple of the, like maybe like 3 of the smaller chain links that like he can use to just kind of like whack somebody with real quick? Can I try and break it apart?
You realize when you're like, you can't break this, even with your strength.
She goes, hold on a minute. Just hold on. I need to breathe deep.
Yeah, just for like tension core up type thing, and like,
We'll look for something else for you.
when again, to be clear though, the Eli is keeping 1 vial and Dimitri was going to destroy 2 of them, right?
Yeah.
Was that what I heard?
That's what was said.
When the vials are shattered, they just smell awful. It is a burning, stinging, acrid smell that you all immediately recognize garlic. Dimitri and Abaddon, having spent a lot of times in churches, you also recognize frankincense and myrrh in other just acrid chemically scents. But you two in particular, having spent a lot of time amongst religious ceremonies and things, definitely clock those scents as it sort of wafts outwards.
Not
These are
good.
foul things. Why you keep that, Eli?
Yeah, you never know when it might be useful.
They have my eye on you.
2 of them, I hope.
Nah.
You all make your way out, and again, it is a standard Friday night. It is a busy street, people going about their business in and out of bodegas. There's a little diner on the corner. There's taxi cabs running by traffic. It could be anywhere. And you figure, Cherry, you're probably 6-7 blocks from the pillow party.
I would like to propose a plan. We potentially have 2 entrances into this party of pillows, yes?
Yes, I have the password, which I will use for everyone, but I'm not sharing with anyone. And I look directly at Esther. And then we also have your weird back door. So Those are our two options.
There's nothing weird about my door. But yes, two options. So why don't we split into two groups? And you take a group and go in the front door like you are some babushka. You go in like how you say butterfly. And you make a scene, and then I take a group in the back door that is not strange. It's normal back door.
Yeah, I'll accompany you in the normal back door there, Dimitri.
I would like to go. I would like to go in like a butterfly.
Great, Hugo, you can come with me.
Yeah.
What should I look like?
You know what? You're actually kind of rocking this, and I honestly don't know what I can tell you to help you. So, you're just fine.
Okay. And I'm desperately like, as we're walking, I'm looking like just for someone who I think looks kind of normal with obfuscation. Can I actually kind of like get a kind of vibe of what looks like a person who should be going to a club?
So is the ability that you intend to use Mask of 1,000 Faces or Imposter Skills?
Yeah, Mask of
Mask of 1,000 Faces in particularly makes you look just like anybody. Like you are intentionally unremarkable. That a person can look right at you, in the moment they look away, be like, it was a dude.
Oh, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, like what did he look like? I don't know, a guy. You know, like, he had a face. You know, it's instead of them not noticing you at all, it's almost like they notice you but don't care. Is essentially what Mask of 1,000 Faces does.
Remember that guy from Silicon Valley?
Exactly. Exactly.
Do we see this change come upon him, or are we not able to notice?
Yes, you basically would you'd see he sort of stands there in his standard pale form, and then right in front of you kind of become this unremarkable fellow.
Whoa.
That's a handy trick.
Actually,
Duh.
kind of looks like a guy I dated for 3 months, like 2 years ago. It's kind of spooky.
Was it
I
Hugo?
doing? What was I doing 3 months ago? No, I was in my crypt asleep.
It
For a
was
long
not
time.
you. Trust me.
And constantly, like, the shirt will go from, like, affliction t-shirts, like, terrible things, to cargo shorts.
Could I offer him my like scarf just to cover up the affliction mess?
Absolutely. You can try and like zhuzh it up a little bit.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
that's
just hold it out and sort of look at him pleading.
I can't always control it. Sorry.
You're doing
I
great.
even know that's ugly.
However, we did miss an important step there, Hugo, with your Mask of 1,000 Faces, and that is that power does require a rouse check. So you got to roll one of these blood dice to see if you get hungrier.
Just one?
Yep. The
And,
power is going to happen no matter what. It's just if you roll a 1 to a 5, your hunger will increase. If you roll a 6 to a 10, it doesn't.
I got a 5.
So,
You know,
Hugo.
so does
Yeah,
So
well,
does
hang on a
fleetness.
second. As he, well, yes, we'll go ahead and roll that as well, Eli.
So I need to roll it. What exactly? Sorry.
So it is whatever dice you've set aside as your blood dice. I will always refer to them as the red dice because they are red dice, or in my super deluxe level up set, they are red and black
I
dice.
just roll the one that I have.
Just the one, because the power works no matter what. You just
Gotcha,
may get
okay.
hungrier as well.
Gotcha.
It
I
is-
didn't, I forgot that was a thing.
No problem. Hugo, as you stand there, awash in the chaos of the 21st century, you find yourself changing to fit in, and you hear just kind of off in the distance, almost like the swaying creak of a sailing vessel that you would have been so comfortable on in times past. Hugo, what are you doing out there, lad? Look at you cavorting hither and yon with these strange landlubbers. You don't fit in there, lad. You should be out here in the depths with the rest of us.
I'll be there soon. And you and I are gonna talk a lot.
I'm always with you, lad. I'm always here.
Maybe
you're with me, I'm probably with you.
Are you saying this out loud?
Oh, this is. Oh, do you say that out loud?
Yeah.
What you heard was in your head. Okay, then
No,
Hugo
no.
says those words out loud. Okay.
Who are you talking to?
No one. No one that matters.
Eli, we shall depart. Anyone else going with us?
Yeah, who's
Mistress.
choosing Dimitri's weird back door?
Who isn't choosing Dimitri's weird back door?
I'm not.
Mistress.
I'm avoiding it at all costs. I'm going in the front.
I've
Mistress
chosen
Abaddon.
Hugo's resplendent butterfly.
I think Avedon, are you going in the front socialite entrance or the back violence entrance?
Back violence for me.
I thought you might. Again, the rest of the trip is unremarkable. You all make quick time because you don't get tired. And except for the odd pulse pounding moment of a NYPD patrol car going by where you're like, oh, they know. Oh, no, they don't know. Oh, okay, cool. You do walk further and further into what would be sort of an industrial like outlet type area. So a lot of the foot traffic starts to reduce. You think it's definitely busier in the daytime. But Cherry, you know, the nighttime is the right time. And sure enough, you set upon this 2-story furniture shop here, the kind that runs those terrible commercials about, you know, your neighbors shop here too, with some waving cutout in the front mirror of like a smiling bald guy with like 80% off written in like terrible pastel paint on the front window. But even as you all approach, you do all detect the faintest little bit of coming from nowhere in particular.
Abaddon.
Mhm.
Abaddon.
Mm.
It's 80% off.
Oh,
She's not
What?
with you.
That seems important.
Well, this is at this exact second, you all are sort of approaching the structure. You've yet to kind of go your separate ways. This is what you all see on the approach.
Great. So anyone going with me, we're just gonna go right over there where that creepy guy is by the door. Trust me. He is standing there for a reason.
I thought we were going to the weird door.
No. This is the good weird door. Trust me.
All right, I'm just gonna turn and make sure I follow Dimitri at this point. Then
I'm learning a
Not
lot.
OD.
I'm learning a lot today.
Watch a master at work. And Cherry sort of just flips her hair, struts up to the dude who seems unassumingly by the door, like kind of jamming out to his iPhone or whatever.
Can I mime her and walk right behind her while she's doing this? Just
Absolutely.
identical.
Leans in really close to the guy's ear and says, "Kumquat."
He just stops and like looks at you and smiles for a second and hits the door behind him, just boom, boom, boom. And it opens, and when it does, you all hear coming out from inside and like lights flashing and things.
And I turn and sort of look at my companions and gesture for them to go ahead in through the door.
Which that is Hugo and Esther that are going in the front way, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did I hear the password?
Give me your wits and awareness. Let's see if you did. She said it quietly, but you might have clocked it.
I'm good at stuff.
Come on, best you'll fail. Make her
well, no,
make her
I'm-
confess. Confess.
I'm spending a willpower. That is 4 successes.
I'll say with 4 successes you can make it out.
Oh no, 6 successes. I'm sorry.
Oh, with 6 successes you
Yeah.
definitely made it out. Like you absolutely heard it.
Okay, I'm gonna just store that for the instant that she isn't looking at me.
Right. And you all, Hugo, this is odd. The last time you felt this amount of noise and humanity and felt these concussions in your chest, quite frankly, was ship-to-ship battle. The last time you heard something this loud, it was cannon fire, especially when it was immediately followed up with woo! It's because people were on fire. This is odd, but the two of them seem super stoked.
I don't know if I like this. I kind of like it, but I don't.
Don't be silly. And I like thread my arm through his and kind of pull him in through the entrance.
Okay.
You got this.
Esther, you were saying something also?
I'm just gonna stay within about a foot of him, like, in case he has a moment.
Anyone who even looks at me like randomly, I just turn to them and I try to emulate their clothes a little bit more and their features. Like I'm trying to become the generic version of the dude who's at this club. And every once in a while, just be like,
Todd.
Yeah,
Roll.
Todd.
That's
Hey!
yeah, I was about to say it has an extra meaning because
I didn't mean it like that.
I did. You're the Karenist of Karen, not the Toddist. You're the Keithist of Keith. That's what you're after. Nobody likes Keith. Sorry, Keith.
Every time someone makes eye contact with me, I just go,
I belong here.
You go. Do me a favor. Roll your unspent willpower. So that is only black dice. You include no hunger dice in a willpower roll.
yay. Oh, okay, let me do this a little bit. I got this. I got this. No
Believe in
pressure.
you. Mm-hmm. Unless the dice say you don't got it.
And then death.
Not immediately.
I got a 9, a 5, a 3, and I'm trying to be a 6, right?
Yeah, you need 6 or above.
I got 2 successes.
You're not doing too good, Hugo. You're not doing too good. You don't necessarily have to cut and run, but this
Sometimes I get social anxiety. I'm gonna be fine.
I've heard that social anxiety is a thing. I think you're gonna be fine.
Esther, Cherry very much is like, no, you're good. But you've been on enough missions, Esther, where you got these armchair revolutionary freshmen that think they're ready to do some heathen shit and hesitate at the moment. He's cracking. He's cracking.
At that, I'm gonna step up, sort of opposite Cherry, and sort of gently pull Hugo away from her, and at the same time say, "Oh my God, it's Cherry Thorn!" really loud.
Cherry! Oh my God! It's Cherry Thorn! Oh my God, take a picture with me! Around back, you all, as Cherry is on this onslaught of hangers-on rushing towards her. Around back, yes, Evada.
I would like to know if, as we're going around back, if there is anybody back there who just so happens to look like a tasty, delicious little morsel that I might be able to jack if I could.
Is there anything in particular you're looking for, or are you just looking for any port in a storm?
Oh, I just want to gack somebody. I just need to.
Little bit. You just need to just like have a word with somebody.
Yeah.
You know, believe it or not, this is actually a great opportunity to do something that we don't usually get to do. I'm actually gonna have you make a hunting roll because this is New York. There's people around. For you in particular, roll your strength and brawl.
Yes.
Actually, hang on. I skipped a step. Give me your wits and streetwise to see if you can find somebody to begin with.
That I'm not so excited about.
That's the way you gotta find somebody before you throw hands with them. Yeah.
All right. So it's wits and streetwise.
Yep.
So it's wits.
Oh God, I hope if she fails, it's me.
3 success.
I was about to say, come on, best you'll fail. Here it is. Just put your fist through the wall. You're like, there's people in there. you, Avedon, as you guys are kind of making your way down the side, and again, even from out here, you guys can kind of hear the gentle thump of the thing, but you all are seemingly alone on the side of this huge place because it's one of those warehouse stores. You know, there's a lot of real estate in there. And you, Avedon, down the block a little bit, absolutely clock somebody who sort of like looks both ways and goes near a car. Slim Jim.
I am going to very light-footedly whisk my way semi behind him. See if I can make it back there. And as he's very focused trying to break in, I'm going to Arms of Arum on him and just bring him to me and just...
Again, being fed upon is pleasurable for mortals. So this man goes through the full spectrum of human emotions in about an eighth of a second, of hope that he's going to get into this car, wariness that he might get detected, abject terror at having black shadowy tendrils wrap around his body and lift him off his feet, to the heights of pleasure when your fangs seek into his neck. The question is, how much do you take?
I've stayed behind him most of this time, so I don't need to kill him because I don't think he's seen me. He's seen the shadow tentacles, but I still don't think he knows what's hit him.
You're fairly certain he hasn't. You've done this before. You're pretty sure he didn't see you.
Yeah. I'm gonna take what I can from him, as much as I can, to make him woozy and kind of almost pass out if I could. And then I'm also going to kind of use his clothes to tie up his wrists and ankles when I'm done, and slip the crowbar kind of under his armpit and leave him sitting on the car for the police so they know what he was up to and what he was doing.
You do so easily. And Dimitri and Eli, again, you witness this. As you all are walking along, she sort of like flits ahead of you, like, and is all over this guy.
There's nobody else like around, like...
Not that you've noticed. You know, again, the odd car drives by, but as far as you can tell, if anyone saw anything, they're not reacting.
So far, I very much approve this and will assist her in making sure his bonds are sufficient.
You're hungry, you
yeah,
eat.
thank you for that.
This is normal. The kind they matter not to us.
It's seconds, Avedon, and the job is done. And Eli, you do notice she left him alive.
Yeah, that's why I'm that's why I'm helping, because I feel like not only did she leave him alive, but we caught a criminal, so this is a net positive.
It's true. You have done a service to the people of New York. And after this, it is very easy to circle back to Dimitri, where your people said it was, which actually is not the rear entrance of the facility itself. It is next door. There is a pastry shop, like a world pastry shop. I had to stop myself there. I almost said the name of a very real place. Sort of an international confectionery is right next door. And you know what the knock is. Duh.
I'm gonna say off a string of words in Russian. Basically, you know who I am. I know that we just had a collection this evening. I just had a few questions about this neighborhood. By the way, has anything come across the other headset, the earpiece? I chucked the radio. I don't care about the NYPD anymore.
As far as you hear, once they said they'd lost the van, the chatter on this frequency stopped.
I no longer need to keep this. The chatter is done. I'm gonna crush it and chuck it.
All right, and then a moment later, the door opens, and on the other side, you see what looks like a young girl. She actually might be about 16 or so, and she is wearing a stylish tracksuit that would probably fit in most clubs anywhere. And she looks at you in a Russian accent that I myself am incapable of demonstrating. Just says to you, older brother.
It is wonderful to see you this evening, little girl.
She turns and she sort of looks at Eli and Avedon and then just like looks back at you.
They're fine, pay them no mind. They are under my wing this evening.
I'm blind, older brother. How might I be of service?
So I hear that there is a club next door that we are a part of in some manner, and I'm just looking for some information. I hear that there may be someone there that I need to speak to.
She turns and she looks, you know, it's in the direction of what that would be. I mean, it looks like a wall. She turns back forward. She's like, brother, he's spoiled children. I've not seen anyone serious.
The person that we speak for is very much not professional. Is there any word that you have heard for a up and comer, if you will, a brat that has stepped outside of their nursery?
She sort of scratches her head for a second, and you see she turns and she looks into what looks like this empty restaurant, and you all see her eyes start glowing bright red. And when they do, 2 more sets of red eyes appear. And she waves her hand over her face 3 times. And you see their eyes go over their face 3 times. And the eyes disappear. She says, we will look into this, older brother. Would you like access to club? He's jumping.
Is there a, how you say, I'm gonna look back at Avedon. The VIP room, the bottle room, or something. I will be honest here. This is a rare moment. There is a spoiled girl over there that I am having knowledge of, and I would really like to, how you say, one up her.
You know, I actually would also like to know the password, if that's not too much.
Yes. There are many such girls. This cherry person is over there taking all of the pictures. She was in movie. It's very nice. I seen. You would like to know password? Yes, friend of older brother. The password is kumquat.
Bold choice.
I do not understand, but yes. I can take you to true proprietors of the establishment, though, older brother. They have paid. They would probably welcome your presence.
I would appreciate it very much.
She turns and looks at you, Avedon, and she stares at you for a moment, and she audibly goes,
I hope the evening finds you well.
I did not notice. I meant no disrespect to either of you, any of you. And you notice that even though her eyes very much lit up with awareness at Avedon, she looks at you, Eli, because she's like, he's important and she's important, and I don't know who you are, so you must be important. And her entire like vibe changes. It goes from like respectful to very much like no eye contact. You know, ooh, I'm not worthy.
It is fine, little sister. Just remember you saw nothing tonight, and we will be all fine.
You are a ghost, brother. Da. You turn this time, she looks again, and you see her eyes open. Whereas before she went up and down 3 times, this time she goes twice, and she waits a second, and a third one. And you see the red eyes light up. And this time, you see in the floor what looks like a passageway open up, and you hear like something dragging, like She's like, with respect, you can see in dark, da?
And I would like to activate that thing, Eyes of the Beast.
Eyes of the Beast. And of course, Avedon, you have your Oblivion sight. Does Eli have any particular capability to see in the dark?
I don't think so. I think I'll just follow their lead.
Just hashtag act natural.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything.
Right. Again, though the end result of being able to see in the dark is the same, your actual perception of the events is quite different. To you, Dimitri, you see what went from a black dark room is illuminated to roughly dusk. Sure enough, you do see 3 men that you recognize from the business, competent guys. One of them is standing there holding a length of chain and very much is dragged like a section of the floor away to reveal a passageway down underneath, a staircase that goes downward, and is standing there. The other 2 are standing there holding AK-47 machine guns. And when your eyes light up, they very much like salute you appropriately.
I'll nod my head to him before I head down.
Avedon, for you, when your eyes fill with the inky pools of oblivion, you also can see, but everything is in a very harsh grayscale as you essentially pierce the darkness through your understanding of it to also witness these 3 people here. But you see something they don't. You very much see ghosts. There are just one walking around that looks like probably a late 90s club goer that just looks very lost. He very much is like along the wall that would have been the way to the party, like he's searching for something.
Avedon will walk up to him. Are you looking for something?
Oh, hey. Oh, hey. Yeah. It's like it's going down over there, but like I like forgot the password. You know, I told them that the password was like cowabunga, right? And like that's how I got in last time, but like they won't let me in this time. I don't know why. I'm just trying to find my way in.
Oh no, dear, it's kumquat.
Oh. So like I can go to the party?
Yeah.
When you say this to him, Avedon, you see a visible shudder go through him. Like he just kind of like relaxes a little bit. The tension kind of comes out of his shoulders. And you actually see a bright golden light behind him appear. And he's like, oh, whoa, I've spent so long trying to get into the party.
I know. It's right there to that light.
But, whoa. Oh shit, is that Jimi Hendrix playing? And he turns and steps into the light and vanishes.
Well, that one was easier than normal. I'm not complaining. And she does continue to walk.
Yes, too, you very clearly see this, Dimitri. You somewhat make it out, Eli, that she very much kind of peels off to your group and like talks to no one in particular for a moment and then comes back.
So what you doing there?
Oh, ghost of a club kid lost. Forgot the password. He's probably been there for about 30 years trying to get in.
Oh, of course. Makes sense. I'm just keep walking.
This is, I do know.
Meanwhile, back in the club, oh my God! Shot! Terry! Shots! Yeah. The place
I'm
is
into
lit.
it. I'm into it. I'm taking selfies. I'm accepting shots from people. I'm not buying any shots for myself, but I'm kind of losing track of like why we're here, and I am in the scene.
A few moments later, a girl walks up to you with multicolored purple hair that like is different colors when she turns her head in the light. You recognize her as Tiffany, the one that you talked to earlier, and it's like, oh my God, I'm so glad you made it. I love you so much. Oh, you're like my sister. And
See, I
very
told
much
you I was coming.
presses her sweaty head against yours. Like, yeah. Like,
as I push her off.
Like, oh my god, you look so hot. Like, oh, you fucking whore. You're making me look so
thanks.
ugly.
No, please. Thank you. Listen, the guy who organizes this, he's here tonight. Yeah?
I think so. Like, I mean, he's supposed to be like in like not the champagne room, like like he calls it like the crystal room or whatever. Like, I don't. And as somebody walks by with a drink, she literally takes their drink and just like hammers it backwards.
Oh my god! I grab her almost a little too fiercely by the shoulders. And I'm like, Tiffany, where's the crystal room?
While this is happening, what are Hugo and Esther doing as this like 50 people, it is shoulder to shoulder in here. They're going very hard. Quite frankly, they're going too hard. There's a real chance someone is going to die in this room, honestly. But there's people walking around with trays of cookies. No one is paying attention. They just like are grabbing things and shooting things and taking shots and eating things. And it's, Esther, you especially know, you're like, this is cardiac arrest waiting to happen, but cool.
I have, as much as I could, kind of guided Hugo away from the most densely populated area around Cherry, but like still within eyesight, so we can try and keep tabs on her. But maybe somewhere a little quieter, somewhere where maybe there's a booth or something where he could sit down if he really needed to just chill for a minute. And I'm going to go ahead and text a few people that I know and see if I can, bank a couple of favors by sharing this password.
Give me your wits and streetwise. Let's see how many, how much you can flip out of this.
Hugo is also trying to be very calm during all of this, and he resorts to like a nervous tick he has because his fingers are so long, and he's just like,
You do gather a small crowd of liquid dancers around you, Hugo, with they seem to have mastered some bizarre form of witchcraft that allows them to hold on to tiny little pieces of starlight inside this room that you're not quite sure how they function.
See, Hugo, you're a natural.
Okay.
You know what you're doing.
Okay, the lights are shiny. I like them. I heard fish glow in the dark sometimes. So that's cool.
A young girl walks up to you and puts a full wreath, essentially made out of glow sticks, around your head, and she's like, "It's like your soul's glowing, man."
Oh. That's nice to say. And I thought my soul was all black and dark. But no one said it glowed before.
She thinks you're beautiful, Hugo.
Oh my god, you're like so hot. You look like this dude that I knew from this one place. No, you're like dope, dude. And she like gives you a huge hug.
Okay. That's nice of you to say, blowy girl.
Esther, what was that on that wits and streetwise?
Two success.
You get back a couple of replies like, yeah, absolutely, yeah, and one all in caps, "We coming through."
Excellent. That must be B-Dave.
Excuse me, he would already be here, okay? Like, thank you.
He's at all the pillow parties.
I'm like, he helped create the password.
It's his club. I just
surprise! It was me you were looking for the entire time. Which is not completely inaccurate on a meta level.
very meta.
Yeah,
too
right.
real. Stop. Too real.
Cherry.
Yeah.
You say like, where is he? He's like, oh my god, hold on, wait. No, I got it. No, I'm good. Yeah, I'll take you to the champagne room because you're like fucking Cherry. Oh my god, when'd you get here?
Girl, focus. It's the crystal room.
Oh yeah.
We need to go now.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Let's go. Let's go to the crystal room. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, and she very much grabs another drink and just like bang, like backwards.
Okay. I want to. I'm just gonna tell you what I want to do, and then you can tell me if there's like a way to do it. I want to like enchant her to focus up enough to just tell me where it is, so she doesn't have to take me there.
So you have a couple of options. I don't believe have any ranks in dominate, do you?
Dominate? No.
You do have presence,
I have
correct?
presence. Yes.
What you can hold her attention with your awe power. Do you have entrancement?
I have awe and lingering kiss.
So, awe, you can hold her attention, but she is still very much under the influence. But if you do this, you will hold everyone's attention. All eyes will be on you because awe is area effect.
Okay.
And lingering kiss, if you feed upon her, again, as I mentioned before, being fed upon is pleasurable to mortals. Lingering kiss essentially makes it addictive.
Yeah.
That they don't just need it, they need it from you. But with awe, between awe and your persuasion roll, you could probably try and get her to do what you're asking her to do. But just like a real human can essentially not will themselves sober, neither can she.
Right. Okay.
I mean, except for like pain and adrenaline. I don't know. There's definitely been times, but yeah, but for the most part, no, there's no way.
Fuck it, let's do it. What did you say? It was awe and willpower?
So if you activate awe, again, everybody stops what they're doing and turns and looks at you again. It's like, oh my God, Cherry! Woo! And you roll your either your charisma or your manipulation, whichever's higher, plus persuasion, plus your presence dice.
Okay.
And Esther and Hugo, you all very much see it is like everyone is kind of like doing everything, and they all really do just stop and look at her. And even you two feel these warm waves coming off of Cherry. You all have been kindred long enough to know what it is. You in particular, Esther, are capable of doing it. But it still doesn't mean you don't feel it when it happens. So it's like, oh, Cherry.
So that's 6 successes, 2 of them critical.
So so the 2 crits count as 4 by themselves. So is it 6 total, or is it 8?
So it's 8.
Okay. She's like, oh my, so because you know what I mean, right? The 2 crits are
so
4.
That's 8 plus 4 more.
Okay, so 8 total. So it's the 4 plus 4 more, because you have 6 total successes on the dice, right?
Correct.
So that is 8 with a crit.
Yes.
Perfect. Is it a regular crit or any of the crits on your blood dice?
One of the crits was on a blood dice.
So that is a messy critical.
One day, you know what? I'm gonna get all this like right as we finish.
It's a lot. No, it's fine. Because but that's the thing. Even as we finish, it is just the beginning to a new adventure, vampire. It's a lot to keep track of. Don't worry about it.
So,
So let me tell you, and you describe to me what happens. I'm just gonna tell you 2 things.
Great.
It definitely works. But the beast comes out to help you in an unintended way. 8 successes is crushing success. She is going to do it. But you definitely are a little more than you mean to. So you tell me what that looks like.
Okay. I basically, in a movement that is too swift to be purely human, heave myself up onto the bar, stand up, and I'm like, listen up! And the music comes to a crashing, like if it were a record, it'd be like, and like, yeah, exactly. Everyone's eyes are on me, and I'm like, yes, it's Cherry. Yes, I'm here. Get your Insta stories now. Everybody point to the crystal room.
About half of them point over towards this corner of the room that's got one of those tacky stand-ups that is just over there waving. Half of them very much don't know.
Great. And then I grab Tiffany, and I haul her up onto the bar, and I am holding her so tightly that my fingernails, my like perfectly manicured fingernails, are cutting into her skin and drawing a little bit of blood.
It's like a little bit much, Cherry.
And I'm like, this is my friend Tiffany. This is all her night. You make sure she gets fucked up. And then I just toss her back into the crowd, and I lick my fingernails, and I jump off the bar.
Hugo and Esther, you witness this spectacle as the crowd absolutely, again, 8 successes is significant. And quite frankly, mortals are defenseless against this, and they already are 5 to 6 sheets to the wind. It very much the party whips up all around Tiffany. And what do Esther and Hugo do when they witness this scene?
I can't believe that worked. I can't believe that worked. You realize, though, Tiffany won't have any blood left in her veins by the end of the night.
That's part of the plan.
Like, I don't know if you were... Okay, all right, let's go.
I'm trying to blend in with all the woos.
You're doing great.
Ooh.
A little higher.
I do feel like you're like slightly offbeat though. It's like woo, woo, woo.
Go back to the dancing. That was really good. Yeah. Look
With
at him.
with 8 successes, you do a guy comes out of the crowd that kind of has like an unmarked black sort of windbreaker on that just looks absolutely drenched in sweat. There is at least some security here. In fact, Cherry, having been to these type of things, you know there's actually a few very heavily armed people in this crowd actually. And he's like, "Yeah, Miss Cherry, I'll get you to the crystal room right now. Just come with me."
Thank you. It's about time.
Are they with you?
Yes, my posse is coming too. And I gesture for you guys to come quickly with me.
He turns and he looks at you all. Oh, particularly well-informed guy. He looks at you and goes, "Esther, oh shit, your photo exhibit about the Brooklyn Bridge like perfectly captured the futility of capitalism and the fall of Western exceptionalism. Oh my God, I'm a huge fan."
Thank you. You know, this isn't usually my scene, but I figured I'd drop by and you know, hang out for the evening.
Like, class it up. No, it's just a job, you know? I mean, it is sort of like gauche and jejour, but yeah, okay, right. Yeah. You guys come with me. Because he critted on his streetwise. He knows exactly who you are. And he does usher you guys over. And you see behind this tacky waving sign, a door opens that you all couldn't see was there. It is literally set into the wall. And on the other side, you all see a group of familiar faces coming down from a staircase.
Beat you. We were here first. Just saying it.
I don't know about
I mean,
that.
she said it, not me.
Who said these
Seeing
was
as how you
competition?
just came into the room, I mean, it's way cooler upstairs. We were just coming down here to collect you guys.
So,
you know.
and people like dancing with me.
Yeah. Hugo's an amazing
Hugo
dancer.
is-
Hugo, that
okay.
is fantastic.
I always knew, but you know.
It's shiny.
I kind of lean into Esther, like trying to be all polite, like, the password is kumquat.
Yeah. I got that. But thank you. Thank you, Eli.
You all, as you get down here and you all sort of kind of have your minute of like, I mean, we had it, like we all had it under control here. You all smell an unusual incense. The older ones of you definitely know the smell of opium. Eli, you know it. Hugo, you know it. Dimitri, you probably know it. I will even say, Cherry, you recognize it from the times that people do like the retro, like flapper parties.
Yeah.
It's
Really in.
Avedon and Esther, again, it just smells like sweet smoke.
I wouldn't know it from the 70s.
I mean, you know what? I'll let you tell me if she's had the kind of life that she'd know the smell of opium.
I feel with the crowd I used to run with, I might be familiar.
You know what? And I'm gonna even say that even though Avedon, you're a little young for that, Brother Kyle and Sister Megan still go hard sometimes at the cathedral. So you know it too.
They
And
attune to the spirits.
literally, yes. And you all sort of continue down this staircase that Avedon, Eli, and Dimitri were already on, and you all have been led to. And you go down much further than is what is under a furniture warehouse. And you start to realize that you're down in places that were built way before any of the stuff above was. There is a distinct shift in the way the bricks look around you. The piping starts to get increasingly more archaic, and it gets colder and damper, and Hugo, quite frankly, more awesome.
Now we're in the party.
And as you guys get down there, it opens up into another room that is of a comparable size, but this is completely different. This looks like a Prohibition era speakeasy that has been lifted and put right down here. And to tell you the truth, probably has been here the entire time. There are people sitting around drinking and smoking. Many of them look just like you, Eli, in terms like you fit in perfectly in this environment. But
grab a drink if I can then.
There is a bartender by the bar. There are a couple of people drinking, smoking, looking idly. For the rest of you, it's like going through a time machine. You also notice there are large cages that have people in them. That some of them, the people are like sort of like dancing slightly. Some of them, they are passed out and have arms and legs just sort of dangling out of the cages that have distinct bite marks in them that no one even remotely tried to cover up afterwards. And you all see a massively fat Nosferatu stand up and sort of waddle towards you. He looks like a 600-pound bullfrog with big knotty lumps all over him. And he's wearing a long silk robe that very, very barely covers his corpulent mass. And he walks over to you and he's like,
So I understand you guys are here to help me solve a problem, right?
And that's a good place for us to take a little break. So let's just do a quick 10 and we will come back and dive in to that face is the face I was after, Hugo. Good. So 10 minutes and we'll be right back. Welcome back. So I love the fact that this is like the third week, and every time we're like, hey Diana, tell us when we're ready. She's like, cool. We're like, yeah, so tell us. She's like, yeah, I just did. And we're like, oh, you did. Oh, okay, great. Hi. Hello.
She did.
Ready.
2,
Right.
1.
I'm like, Todd and I are professionals. We're not used to working. Melee Damage is not used to working under these conditions.
Next time I'm gonna get a clapper to just like.
Normally,
and
the
go.
cameraman gives us and you got 10 minutes. Now we got 5, and now.
Nope, not with her. She's like, do it now.
No,
Dude, I
Diana's like,
pedal dice
3,
for
2,
a
1, you're on.
Todd, I pedal dice. This is. This is all extra.
Just give it to Moira Rose 5, 4.
Yeah.
I got your 5 right here.
Todd, we're gonna bring the ancestral halfling gesture into this.
it's gonna be universal. Let's just break. We do need a campaign where we go to every genre. Yeah.
You know, I keep saying I'm going to do a Vampire Battlelords crossover, so I'll do a Vampire D&D crossover. I don't care. You know, I'm like, do not test me, internet. I will do it.
I told you what I'm gonna do to us.
Yes. Also, all for it. Okay. Sorry. I apologize. So, you all had made your way down into this Prohibition era speakeasy underneath the Pillow Party. You all are deep enough down in the ground that you can't even really hear the hum of the bass anymore. So you know you've gone down a ways. And again, you are transported somewhat backwards. And you all were approached by this orange bloated thing that sort of ripples as he walks up to you. He's like,
You all are here to help me solve a problem, right?
I take steps to be at the very back of the group.
I'll extend my hand for a handshake, I guess. I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name, sir. I'm Eli.
Oh, I would have thought I'd have seen somebody like you around here.
And he reaches out and he shakes your hand, and it's like a bear paw, just sort of wraps around it. He's like,
I'm Gigolo.
Well, Gigolo, sir, as I kind of like look back at the group, what seems to be your problem? It may be that's why we're here.
he turns and looks at you, Dimitri, and he looks you up and down. And he says to you in terrible Russian, "Did the family send you?"
Da.
Yeah. Well, thanks. Welcome. Hey, sweetie.
Looking at you, Avedon, he very much looks you up and down and licks his lips with a long, slimy tongue. Avedon.
That was a better choice because he was about to die otherwise.
He spent willpower on his roll. Bestial fail. Willpower.
Rest in peace, tongue.
He's like, I would have remembered seeing you around here too.
Yeah, I'm not really the club type.
Well, this is a classy joint. Ain't this a classy joint? And you see all of the people around him do look like they just stepped out of a 1920s, 1930s luxury magazine. Immaculate spit curls on the ladies with short skirts with little tassels on them. You know, they look very cultured and well-to-do. The only obvious thing that doesn't look like it belongs here is him.
Are you in charge of this hootenanny?
Yeah, you might say I run things around here.
See, well, that's funny.
He's like, just excuse me 1 second, your loveliness. Cousin,
And he very much like claps you on the side of the shoulders there, like, Hugo, sorry. He claps you like that, Hugo.
No, I got that. I don't really want to be touched. How are you doing today?
He looks at you and he says to you, "Always sunny on the seaside dock, you know," which you know, Hugo, is Nosferatu code for "Are these people cool?"
What? Oh, yes, they are. It's, but only when it's noon.
Yeah. Hi, you guys want some to drink? He motions at the people in the cages and also the bar. He very much is like, anything you want, it's on me. Anything for these ones is on me.
I like it better when they run.
Perhaps do we need to go somewhere private? Do you trust all these people here?
No, I don't trust nobody, but, you know, they all know to keep their mouths shut or they're gonna wake up staked on the lawn tomorrow at noon.
I'll laugh a little bit at that.
And when you say that, Avedon, he looks at you. He's like,
This might come as a surprise, but I ain't much of a runner, but I'd love to watch you chase somebody down, you know what I mean?
and he scratches his face and one of the warts kind of pops and oozes a little.
I take a farther step backward.
Dimitri, I think this was your contact. Do you want to? Perhaps you should facilitate this conversation.
Hey, Cherry. No, big fan of your work. I'm sorry. Am I offending you with this? You ain't got no cell phone signal down here, baby. It's all right.
I'm composing a tweet. It's fine. Thank you.
Dimitri, I don't think she likes me, Dimitri.
I just slowly move in front of Cherry.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna step in front of her as well.
She is but spoiled child. Ignore her. She has problems with
Nah, yeah, you know what, buddy? That just means she got fucking eyes, right? I know what I look like. Cherry, I know what I look like. I'm gonna win you over, baby. You're gonna see. You ain't never had a friend like Gigolo, all right?
Beauty's on the inside.
Yeah,
Only if you check.
Sometimes I'm inside of Beauty, though. You know what I mean? And he very much like nudges you this time, Eli. Like, you know what I mean, buddy?
Perhaps we should get to business.
He does leave like little bits of like grease or schmutz.
Yeah, I
of
do
some
my
sort
best to
when he
like
get-
kind of.
Do I know anything about this person through the organization?
Give me wits and streetwise.
Can I
You
go
all-
get a drink while Cherry's being
Absolutely.
accosted?
Absolutely. Do you do you mean with the people in the cages or the bar?
The bar.
When you walk over to the bar, there is a man who looks like an old-timey saloon guy. He's wearing a white shirt and a vest. He is wiping the bar with one hand, and he's got a very long, like bushy goatee that comes all the way down. Like, yeah, almost like Dimitri if Dimitri were a more cheerful chap. Yes. Well, hello there. What can I do you for?
I'll take a double of your favorite bourbon.
Ah, rightio. And you give me your wits and awareness, Esther. And if anyone, did anyone go with Esther to the bar?
Yeah, I think I would have, because I was gonna get a drink anyways.
Ooh.
You also can give me your wits and awareness. Cherry is frozen in disapproves in Toreador.
Yeah, stares in Toreador. Ignores in Toreador.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend a willpower. I'm gonna reroll.
All right.
How many of those can I reroll?
Up to 3 of the black ones.
Up to 3. Okay.
What did you get, Esther?
5 successes.
Beautiful.
Also 5.
Beautiful. Neither of you had any crits there, right?
Nope.
You notice that again, as he's moving around doing things, he is only moving his right hand. His left hand has not moved in the entire time it's been here. So he's like, yeah, okay, so I don't recognize you two before. Like, pours the doubles out, slides them forward. He's like, yeah, absolutely. Hi, welcome aboard. Name's Doc. Doc it is.
Doc, nice to meet you. Name's Eli.
Nice to meet you, Eli. And he does reach out and shake your hand.
All right. With his right hand, I assume.
With his right hand.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I shake it back then.
His left hand is under the bar.
Yes. So literally is like, you know, doing things, and the left hand has not come out from under the bar once. Not only has the left hand not come out from under the bar, it hasn't moved. So it's not like he's moving around and you just never see it. Like, it very much is stationary while he's doing other stuff. And Eli, you do notice when you shake his hand is warm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But yes, Esther, you absolutely notice this.
I'm Esther, and I'm gonna hold out my left hand in the hopes that, in order to avoid awkward.
He lets go of Eli's hand and seamlessly scoops yours up and kisses it. Nice to meet you, Esther. Yes, it's a beautiful thing like you is classed up this place significantly.
That's very, very sweet. You know, I admit I wanted to see if you had a wedding ring on. It's just one of those things. You got a nice mustache. I gotta say, that really does it for me.
That is why I keep it polished. Dapper Dan, there, Dapper Dan will do it for you. None of that fop, though. None of that fop. Yes, you know, I'm married to the job, really. You know, I've had my fair share of flings. Oh, hoo-hoo. The 1920s were a different time indeed. Drink, drink, drink. Enjoy these bourbons, drink.
Is he acting, like, does he seem nervous?
You can give me an insight check. That would be your wits and your insight. And Eli, you can do the same to try and read this guy.
Jerry, I think a lot of people here are very old.
Yeah, and?
It isn't a weird observation.
It's a valid observation, but like, not like older than you though, right?
I'm like 30, I think. Something.
Yeah. That sounds right.
How many was that on your insight there, Esther?
5.
And how many on your insight, Eli?
2.
He is nowhere nearly as friendly as he's letting on.
Okay. Do we have our drinks at this point?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he poured it right in front of you and pushed. He's like, hey, drink up, drink up.
I'm just gonna straight up ask him, well, son, why you seem to be tethered there to the bar?
He looks down, he goes, oh, what you must think of me. It's a company policy, you see. I just have to make sure that I'm never too far from my post. Should a response be needed?
Eli, where are your manners? Thank you so much for the drinks. I'm sure I'll see you again later, and I'm gonna try and sort of lead him back.
Hold on a second, Doc. How you find yourself to be in service here?
Oh, I've been working for Mr. Gigolo nigh on 80 years, maybe more now, actually. I've lost track I have. I've poured more glasses of bourbon than you have probably had good night's sleep, youngster. And you don't seem like too young of a guy.
Well, no.
I will slug my drink and put it
good.
down for another.
Oh, it's good. It is good.
At this point, can I kind of determine what the deal is?
You can give me your wits and awareness and try and take another look. Meanwhile, Gigolo over with Avedon and Dimitri. He looks at you, Dimitri, and he's like,
if you don't mind, my Russian's bullshit, and I don't want to offend the lady by making her feel excluded, you know. I great respect for your clan, miss. Great respect for what you all have accomplished and your resilience in the recent nights. I understand doing what you gotta do to survive, doing what you gotta do to protect what's yours. Respect.
Thank you. Likewise.
I didn't mean no disrespect with that, like, hey, baby stuff, like I'm from a different time, I don't want you to like try and twist my head off or some shit, like.
Yeah, no, quit while you're ahead though. See this talking thing that you're doing about that? Why did you want us here? Why did you say you had something that you needed us to do?
he looks at you again with Dimitri, and he's like, you okay if we talk business? You ask if I'm okay. I'm okay, but is you okay?
I rolled a 3 on my previous check to see if I know anything about this gigolo dude.
You had heard tell that there was somebody named Gigolo in these parts, but you did not know that it was this. Like, nowhere did you get 600-pound bullfrog Nosferatu as what you were expecting. But really, it makes sense. Your people are good at finding people, and the only people better at finding and hiding are Nos.
So he's not plugged in, as it were?
You think he's got the juice he says he's got. He's not necessarily, he is, again, you might recall someone had paid the family to come here and do this, and you waved them off.
No, we are here to help you, but at the same time we are also looking for something. So let us discuss the business. I suppose the children can play, and let us talk.
He leads the two of you over to a table, and as he approaches it, there's 3 people smoking and drinking and having a good time. And when he walks that way, the 3 of them stand up without saying a word and pick up their glasses and move. And he just motions for you two to have a seat. And he sits down in the chair with a heavy creak. Yes, Cherry.
This is just Avedon and Dimitri that have gone off with him?
You can go if you would like to accompany them.
No.
Currently, Eli and Esther are by the bar, and Hugo and Cherry were basically just out of earshot, but you very much watch the three of them walk away if you choose to follow.
I just gesture at them and look at Hugo and go, rude.
He's not really my type of person.
No, me neither.
So what are Hugo and Cherry going to do here? There's a couple of people like sort of dancing in the corner. For the most part, it is fairly low key. There is a phonograph that is playing old timey music, kind of like with a pleasing hiss as it sort of crackles over there. And it seems like, except for the people in the cages, everyone here is having a great time.
Hugo.
And honestly, maybe even the people in the cages.
Hugo, this is like your first party, right?
I could only assume so, yeah.
What do you want to do?
Oh, that's profound. I don't know. That's a big question.
Okay, focus in on the moment, like dancing, drinking, feeding, chilling, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I could dance. Yeah, well, we can dance. Is there
do it.
music playing?
There's music. Do you not hear the music?
No, I hear it.
I also hear it, in case you were curious. Great. And I just although he starts dancing immediately where we're standing, I guess, I grab his arm and I pull him closer to the dance floor, like gently, but like, come on. And then start dancing in a way completely different from how he is dancing. That is very, shall we say, modern.
Give me either your dexterity or charisma in your performance, Cherry. Let's see how good of a job you do. You do dance, but let's see how well you drop it here.
Yep. Okay.
Can we see what's happening?
Oh, yes. This isn't a very large room. I mean, it's 40 feet across. Like, you all have very clear eye lines.
Sorry.
Just making sure.
You said charisma, performance, and...
Either your charisma or dexterity, whichever's higher.
Great.
Plus your performance.
Great.
If you want to activate your awe and have all eyes be on you, you could add your presence dice to it as well.
will.i.am starts playing.
I want to do that because
It's true.
I also want all eyes on Hugo in this moment. And in order to do that, first they got to be on me.
It's true. You're like, I didn't know they made Kendrick Lamar on 78. Weird.
I mean, you got to.
It's true. Technically, I absolutely knew they made Kendrick Lamar on 78. Actually, yeah.
So it's 2 successes. Sorry, it's 8 successes total.
Crit or no crit?
2 of those were crits, so I made them count for 2.
And were any of those crits on blood dice?
No.
Okay. You're magnificent. Honestly, all of you notice, like, whether or not it is your style, her skill is undeniable. 8 successes is extreme success. So, I mean, she's professional. It's clear that she was in all those dance movies for a reason. She knows what she's doing.
I feel like I think the music is it's missing something that upstairs had. What is that big loud noise upstairs?
Oh, you mean the bass? The oons, 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 oons.
Oh yeah. How about I'm gonna drop a beat.
And I just start slamming with my potence with my metal heel into the stone underneath me while I'm trying to dance. I'm just like,
you all, Eli and Esther, you especially like hear this, and when he starts doing this doom 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 doom, you see Doc noticeably tenses for a second, and then it's like, yeah, that was an earthquake. That's haven't felt one of those since back during the gold rush out west.
As it's kind of, so I look back. Are they the only 2 out there that are?
they're the only two like that, you know. Especially.
Honey, there's no one else like this in Manhattan.
You do know that even some of the other people that were sort of like doing their thing are kind of like stopping to watch. A couple of them are attempting to sort of like duplicate her moves a little bit. Yeah, but nobody's doing what Cherry's doing. And again, even though it may not be your style, she is unquestionably great at it, though.
I guess she's in those movies for a reason.
Well, this definitely won't help anyone here forget about her if she was hoping to fly under the radar. So,
not exactly a low-profile move, no.
She's not at all.
She'll get there with time.
Doc, could I have another?
Oh, yeah, I think I might have one myself this time.
I think you probably should. You need it.
And I got a 5 on my check earlier, by the way.
Which one?
You were I was seeing if I could determine whether I assumed that he must be a ghoul, but I was checking to see if I know what's going on with this guy.
Again, based on how he's talking and the warmth of his flesh, you think he's probably a ghoul. Okay. I will also say with 5, you notice when Hugo started stomping on the ground and he tensed, you heard the very familiar song, Eli, of the slide of gunmetal across the surface when he's like underneath.
Okay.
You think that was the missing piece of the puzzle. He probably has his hands on a very large firearm just under the desk, under the bar.
Yeah, maybe you should throw back a drink or two there. Looks like you're getting a little bit tense.
Oh yeah, it's we've been open a long time, but we don't get a lot of like completely new faces, you know. Just don't mean to be rude to anybody, you see.
Of course, I understand. You gotta keep your wits about you.
Hey, to our sainted mothers, right?
No.
Going back?
No, not to that, but.
He's like, well, if not to who they were, who they should have been.
I'm just gonna drink to you. Is that okay? Is that
That's,
all right?
All
right. Okay.
Hey,
Thanks,
now, you have made an old back's night. Wow, nobody's toasted me in quite some time.
I don't know if I'm allowed to do this because I know it's like a way, like not a power I have, but I just
First
want
of all,
the effect.
I like where this is headed.
Right when he says that, to our sainted mothers, I want to be like 1 inch away behind him, and then when he looks, I'm not there anymore. I'm still on the dance floor.
You know, yeah, I'm gonna say absolutely, Hugo.
I'm thinking what would upset me.
with oddly supernatural alacrity, just to come and troll this guy and then be gone again. Over at the oh yes, go ahead.
Did we hear it?
Oh yeah, you very much heard him.
I will shoot a withering stare at him from the bar.
Hugo, you do see Esther mean mugging you once you get back out there and start trying to groove again.
I think
I like put his hand down.
I think I just expect everything from Hugo at this point. I don't think I was phased.
Over at the table, you see Gigolo watching all of this. He's like, that guy must be new in town. And by in town, I mean to the 21st century. Is that like? And you see he narrows his eyes. And to you all, Hugo still looks like just some random dude. He's like, is he wearing like pirate boots?
He is, here you say, man out of time. Town? Out of time. Out of time. Man out of time.
Yeah, I sympathize. Yeah. Let me tell you why I ordered a little bit extra muscle, even though this is not what I expected to show up at my establishment tonight. Somebody has been interfering with my business. And as you know, and quite frankly, you know, as he looks at you, Abaddon, he's like, when somebody interferes with business, you gotta respond accordingly, or anybody will think they can start interfering with business.
The strength, I understand.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I got They got to be where I am by staying out of sight, you know. Nobody looks under the streets, and if they do, they don't look deep enough. But every once in a while, even I gotta have something going on above ground. And somebody's been fucking with me. I need them to stop.
Oh, who is it that you suspect is giving you issues?
He looks at you like he's about to say something smart, and you see he like sort of stops, and he's like,
With respect, miss, if I knew, they'd already be fucking dead.
Oh, so we're on a scouting mission, not a killing mission. I just wanted to clarify.
Well, if you find them, you fucking kill them, so maybe you're on a bit of both.
What
Right.
details do you have? Give us a scent. We will deal with this.
he very much scratches at his horrible neck, and every time he does, new things ooze just slightly, and you see he stops and wipes his hands on his robe. He doesn't touch the tablecloth, he wipes it on his robe, and he's like,
Sorry, it's just happens to me when I get upset sometimes, you know. And I've been very upset.
Someone please tell this man a joke quickly.
Hold on a second. Maybe I can, let me think. Oh, okay, I got a guy.
and right in front of you, he turns into Derek Jeter. Better?
Much.
These games, I care not what you look for. Give me the details.
Like, you know, I respect a man that knows his own mind, and if you are willing to walk around above ground with no nose, I want you to know I support you in your life choices. So, here's the bottom line. And he does still scratch his face in the exact same place, but this time nothing happens. And you all do notice that they were sitting at there with this Hut-Ease looking monstrosity that now very much is Derek Jeter. He's like, so you see, I got this party upstairs. I don't do it for the kids. I do it for the party favors. I move a lot of weight around here. There's another guy on the other side of Central Park, goes by the name of Tennessee. I think he might be trying to encroach, but before now, Tennessee and I kind of had an understanding. I stay on this side, he stays on that side, and we all just make our money and go about our business. So he's my number one competition. I don't know that I would say he's my number one suspect, because again, miss, if I felt it was Tennessee hitting me, I already would have hit him back.
If I may ask, what is your proof, evidence of conviction that it's not him?
"10 years of peaceful coexistence." I mean, of course, and he looks at you, Dimitri. He's like, you know, deals change, powers shift. We got a new prince in the city. You know, maybe he's getting greedy. But honestly, it might be worth looking into, but I feel like whoever's been hitting me, they're sloppy. You know they're sloppy, the two of you. You've seen it. If he was coming after me, I think he would have respected me enough to send some serious people. Unless he was trying to both offend and fuck with me. Holy shit. And you do see he sort of like sits back in his chair like, does he think I'm a joke?
Nay.
Meanwhile, oh, sorry, go ahead, sorry.
I believe you may know my reputation, especially my feelings on the drugs and the weakness it puts on the body. If we were to help you out in this way, for I believe we are aligned on the same destination. What is in it for us, for the organization? I must overcome a personal bias in order to undertake this crusade for you.
Can I show you all something without being too offensive? A little bit of a flex, the kids call it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right when he says that, he snaps his fingers, and in the room, 6 more Nosferatu appear, and each of them have guns at each of your heads. You see lasers appear on some of your foreheads. They're just like, shh. And just after a half second, he's like I said, a little flex. What I can offer
on
you
me
is,
as well?
Oh yeah, you
Yeah,
too.
we all
Actually,
experience this?
not on you, Hugo. All the rest, like 6 of them appear. 6 of them have drawn down, but on you, Hugo, a pale ashen white one that looks a similar color as you just appears basically just out of your arm's reach and just stares at you, Hugo. Then none of them point a weapon at you. And again, you can see them afterwards, but they only have the weapons for like a beat and then put them away.
Before the one has the gun on Cherry, my hand just slowly reaches out and just...
No.
It's merely a show, cousin.
Understand. I'm not a show.
As you wish.
And it's got pronounced bat-like fangs. And Derek Jeter looks at you, Dimitri, and says, what I'm offering you is a favor. I got people literally everywhere. I had people in here you didn't know. You help me out with this, I help you out. And I don't just mean I help out the family. I mean I help you out.
This currency is more valuable than most understand, and I understand it very intimately. I cannot speak for the rest of the group. We are new together, but I accept for this.
Over by the bar, the 2 that had their guns on Esther and Eli, and again, they very quickly put them back away again. One of them looks at you with gray skin and very vibrant violet eyes, Esther, and she just looks at you and goes, bottoms up. And all 6 of the Nas vanish again. They're not there, they're there, they're not there. Right in front of all of you.
I would like to try and maintain eye contact with where those bright violet eyes were. Slug my drink and blow a kiss right back. So
You do so.
I'd like another, please.
Doc.
Don't worry, I can still see them in my brain.
That's comforting.
When you say that, Doc says, well, I suppose the point was made. I won't be needing this, will I? And out from under the bar, you see he pulls out a sawed-off double barrel.
You may want to hold on to that.
He puts it behind the bar where it's like you couldn't easily grab it, but like frees up his other hand and is like, oh yeah, again, didn't mean to be rude. You never know these nights who's coming in here, what they're gonna do. Maybe you guys were like some stick-up people, and we just had to be ready.
no offense taken, Doc.
Yeah, he's like, yes, that's I yeah. Well, let me just say it is a pleasure to know that I won't have to do any violence tonight. Well, most likely, but hopefully.
You don't know that yet.
You got me.
I would keep it close if I were you.
That's that is how I made it this far. And he like very deftly, when he has his other hand, begins mixing drinks for you all.
I don't want to say to no one in particular, assuming that they're probably still nearby.
Mm-hmm.
And to be clear, from a me being the vampire perspective,
uh-huh.
I assume I'm familiar, at least somewhat, with this ability. Are there any tells to be able to know? Like, do they still they're not like weightless? Like, do they leave footprints, that sort of thing?
Again, there are certain powers that counter their obfuscation. But for the most part, unless you possess them, they're just not there. Because again, they are there. You just can't perceive them.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay, cool.
yeah, it is not that they physically vanish. You just don't notice.
All right.
So to be clear, if like, this room were to blow up, because what kind of person would do that? Like
Right.
they would be injured because they're here.
Sure.
Again, you just don't notice them. And some abilities allow you to penetrate that, but I don't
Gotcha.
believe you have Sense
Nope.
the Unseen or anything that does. Right. In fact, I don't think any of you have Sense the Unseen. Do you? Again, speaking as someone who also doesn't, I know that feel. But yes, and the irony of this is Nosferatu actually don't have it either. So as I've pointed out, oftentimes even the Nos don't know when other Nosses are around. So yeah, which again, in this current state, Hugo, you can't see them either. You didn't know they were there before they revealed themselves.
No, he's just saying that shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's all, think of the Nosferatu like turtles. It's all turtles all the way down.
So, but I think Eli, I mean, he's had a gun pulled on him before. You better hope if you have to use that, you get me the first time.
I would say, based on the life you've lived, it is a logical deduction that all 6 of them are still here. That is something you would reasonably extrapolate.
Right.
They've probably moved, so you can't just be like bang. But otherwise, yeah, they're still around.
Gotcha.
Actually, all of you, give me just roll straight wits. You can give me wits and insight. All 6 of you roll this.
I'm so well known for
Hey.
this.
I won't. Since this is just a thought thing. Never mind. I won't even
Also,
say anything.
just realized the difference in the critical and the normal successes on my dice.
I got one.
There you go.
Oh yeah, with yours, Mason, it's pretty subtle.
They're very subtle on
You
the.
said it was wits and what?
Wits and insight.
Y'all,
Yes, 6.
I swear to God, I know you think I'm lying because you don't see the rolls. These dice are rolling amazing for me. I just got all 5 of the dice I rolled are successes, and one of them is a crit.
I don't know. Someone who works at Level Up Dice and their dice
I was
are
about to
rolling
say,
well.
I'm like, and your level up dice will roll amazingly too. Available
swear to
now.
God.
That's not true.
swear
We
to
don't
God.
guarantee that.
Actually, can verify. I was sent a set of level up dice. Thank you. Polyhedral set, and I rolled a 20 on silver and steel, and my first freaking roll was a 1. But my second one was a 20, so I was like, "This is the relationship I'm gonna have with this die now. This is where we are." Okay, great. This is where we are.
Only extremes.
I roused my wits and I failed. Just wanted to let you know that.
As you are looking around here, Abaddon, you feel the vicar's voice echoing from the depths of your soul. These disgusting creatures can still be valuable. They have shown you respect so far, but if you feel they begin to look down on you, show them fear.
Gladly. And that was 3 successes.
3, was that 8 again, Cherry?
Yeah.
Yep, the magic number.
Yeah.
Did anyone get less than 3? Everything? Then I will say all of you are aware.
I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Hugo.
nose.
Yeah, you're just like, honestly, Hugo, you're like, hey, my cousins.
I know exactly where they are.
Yeah, you kind of haven't run into too many of your own kind since you woke up. You know, you're
There's
like,
no
hey.
such thing as open space. It's all Nosferatu between all of us.
The rest of you realize there's no guarantee there was only 6.
Yeah.
And you in particular, Cherry, realize he's used a couple of your names. None of you introduce yourselves. It's reasonable he knew who you were. You were at his party. You've been at lots of these parties. But he said a couple of their names. And you're like, wait a second. That just sort of clicks in your mind there, Cherry. As you are proceeding to captivate the audience with your moves.
Okay.
There are more people underground, below ground that know Hugo's name than above.
Definitely, 100%. You are the ultimate hipster, Nas. Yes, you are too underground. That is true.
Show me your ways.
Yes, Avedon. Again, Derek Jeter looks at you and he says, I have the agreement from the family's representative. Do you think this would be acceptable for your family too?
Yes. I suppose that'll do. No funny business. It will most likely come back down on your head. I'm just, help me help you.
Hey, one thing I think we can all agree on is business is all about relationships. It gets out, I'm a double crosser. Who's going to want to work with me, right? And Dimitri, I apologize if me personally profiting from human suffering and frailty offends your sensibilities. But as you can see, and he motions at this speakeasy, like, I've been doing it for a very long time, and there is one thing that I know is inexhaustible. And he immediately changes back to himself.
And that's human weakness.
The kind are weak. They are beneath me.
He stands up, and again, his belly almost spills out onto the table. And he's like,
so, obviously, even though you're doing me a solid, I can't tell you everything because, but I am prepared to provide you with 2 pieces of information.
One of the women that was over by the opium pipe stands up and walks over and puts an envelope down on the table. And she makes a distinct point of not looking at either of your faces as she approaches. And she puts it down and goes right back over to smoking the opium.
This is a list of some more of my interests in the area. The next place they're gonna hit is in that envelope. But even I don't know which one it was, or I'd have the whole fucking place rigged to explode the moment they came inside. The other...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Avedon will take it and slide it over to herself, and she'll lean in closer so that they can both see it, and she'll open it up and take a look at it while he's talking.
It's a couple of apartments, a couple of condos. There's like a washateria. They would be seemingly unsuspecting places, just like the furniture place upstairs is unsuspecting. I mean, none of it immediately just jumps out at you as like drug front, which is probably why they work. Then he snaps his fingers 4 times. And this time, one of the people in the cages that you thought was sleeping sits up and reaches underneath the blankets and pulls out a disposable phone and reaches out to you, Hugo.
Hi, little cage bird. What you got for me?
They just look at you and they sort of smile, and they look very, yes, you're right there next to this, Cherry.
I take the phone before Hugo can grab it.
When you try and take the phone, they give it to you, but they like very like gently sort of like caress your wrist as you do.
And I pull away, and I'm like, no, Hugo. You want the newest model. We'll get you a better phone.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That right there has got a contact number for one of our cousins. Frequents the park. Goes by the name of Napalm. She works for the other operation, but we not sort of stick together. You got some questions, she'll answer. Probably truthfully, but that's definitely a single-use resource.
Oh.
Stand.
fine. And I hold it out for Hugo to take. But we will be getting you a better phone.
Okay.
Promise.
Hey, thank you for your help, brother. We will do all that we can to aid you in this venture, and I look forward to future endeavors.
He stands up and he's like, hey, look, I know what I look like. I know what I am. But people been having a good time down here for over a century, so you're all welcome back anytime, right? And, cousin.
He looks at you, Hugo, and he just says to you, I apologize. My allergies have come upon me. That's not what he says. Or maybe.
Oh, God, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's all the mold, right? It's fucking ironic.
No, he looks at you, Hugo, and he just says,
sometimes it's good on a new day to hear an old song, right?
which you know again is Nosferatu code for you're particularly welcome here, cousin.
Only depends if you have a needle.
Well, yeah. So,
And he slaps his large, oily belly.
it's like, so, unless you guys is planning on partying, maybe you better get out there. Oh, let me just offer you guys, a little, show of my gratitude in the spirit of cooperation, right?
And a moment later, you hear, and you see a just brick of a Nosferatu, where Gigolo looks like a 600-pound warty creamsicle. This guy looks like if you could imagine what a Viking would have looked like, except he's covered in like a thick row of like crocodilian scales. But this man is probably 7'1", 340, just made out of stone. And it just throws down a what looks like rolled up carpet, but you can tell by the squirming and muffled noises that there's a person inside.
Have we all kind of gathered at this point?
Oh, you're all in the same room. All
So
of
it's not a
this.
huge room then. Okay.
No, it's 40 feet
Okay.
across. I mean, literally, except for the things that were like very closely said. I mean, you were all aware of what was happening in here.
Avedon kind of walks up to it and nudges it with her foot as it's rustling around, and she goes, "Who is he?"
Yeah, what is this?
A gift of mine to one of my most loyal associates.
And he motions at you, Cherry.
Believe me, you are gonna want to see this.
I lean down and like
Shit, it's Kanye.
open the bag. Very like when you know that there's a bug underneath the
Yeah,
cup and you don't want to lift the cup. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like you hit it and it went behind the
Yeah,
couch and you're not 100%
exactly.
sure. Yeah, the
And I look in the bag.
you pull it back, and it is a face that you've seen, and it's a face that you've seen, Eli. It's the superfan that accosted you at the train station, and his eyes are red rimmed and tear stained. And he says,
Yeah, I know what this looks like. But that's the fucker that gave you up. They're on to you, sweetheart.
all of you hear this. You all, Eli and Cherry, you know that man. The rest of you have never seen this person, but you all hear him say that.
I take a step back from the body, from the dude on the ground, and I say, "Who's hungry?"
Can I pat this guy down and see if he's got anything too?
Absolutely. As you start patting him, the giant person that just sort of dropped him like he didn't weigh a pound, sort of fishes around in a jacket pocket, pulls out a cell phone, a lighter, and a USB drive, and just holds them out to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna take those and give them a look over then while they're doing.
I like slowly crouch like a gargoyle down right next to his face, so my head is upside down for his vision.
Hi. You like pretty things? I only eat rats. Normally that'd be a lucky thing for you. Right? Not today.
I just sink my teeth into him.
Again, despite the horror of these circumstances, again, being fed on is pleasurable. So after just a moment of skeeve, he does sort of relax into it. How much do you take from him, Hugo?
Oh, I squeeze his skull while I'm doing it enough for it not to be pleasurable.
you make a point of making it not pleasurable.
Now, Hugo,
yes,
give us
Eli.
a second there. What intel do you have that points to this? Additionally, maybe we don't want to just kill him yet. He might have something that's useful for us.
Yeah, don't worry. We're not going to kill you yet. Or not at all. I don't know.
You're good at this, Hugo. It's a natural.
We might let you go. Just think about how fun that would be to live. Or maybe I could make you look like me. No, you wouldn't like that? But don't you want to be pretty?
I'm still confused. Who is this person? He doesn't look like anything important.
He is the worst kind of stalker of all, a fake stalker.
That doesn't answer my question. Eli, who
He
is
lacks
this person?
commitment, yes.
As she's asking me this, does he have any identifying, like, is there a badge or anything if, like, I look through his wallet and all that kind of stuff?
His all indicators are that he is just a guy. His name is Seth Smithson. Even though his phone is locked, there are enough smudges on the screen that you sort of can hold it against the light and know the way to unlock it. And there are just tons of pictures of Cherry. Even some of that stuff when you kind of got hacked in 2012, it was a nightmare.
It was a dark
Cherry.
period.
Yeah, no, he's got all of that stuff. Yes, Abaddon.
Abaddon's gonna lean into this guy's face while he's clearly nervous. And at first, she's just gonna start stroking the side of his cheek and go, shh. You want to tell us, sugar? You want to tell us who sent you after Cherry? You're going to tell us who put you up to that information, right? Because, right, if you don't, worse things are going to happen.
Just big snot bubbles. Whole, just, yeah.
I take a portion of the rug that's kind of unfurled and I vigorously and roughly wipe the snot away from his nose with it and then continue to stroke the side of his temple.
He's got, very much like the gag, the when you put the cloth through someone's mouth, you know what I mean? Like and he's like biting into it. Yes, Dimitri.
I'm gonna let. I have something, but Melee finish. Yeah.
No, Dimitri's like, so I shoot him. No, yeah. Yeah. You're like, cool. Hold on, pal. Yeah.
I'm gonna stick my pinky.
No, collar is short now.
I'm gonna stick my pinky in the gag and I'm gonna kind of wiggle it loose a little bit. And I'm gonna go, I'm gonna pull this down if you scream, if you make a very big deal about things, you're not going to have a face anymore.
He very much looks at Dimitri and is like,
Yes.
I'm gonna go ahead and activate the eye glowy thing.
Eyes of the Beast.
Yeah.
Comply. And she will kind of wiggle the mouthpiece down a little bit.
Oh my God, Jerry, I love you so much. I was trying to help you, Jerry. They said these people kidnap you. I just wanted you to be okay.
Oh God, is this what boredom is?
Is it, B-Dave,
Yes.
is it dread gaze that scares the shit out of people?
Yes.
Do we need more? He's gonna shit a colon.
Literally scared to death. Yeah.
Could I activate that and just say, just give us the answer?
You all see when Esther looks at him, her eyes widen with pure, ice cold, supernatural apex predator menace. Her lips come back and her fangs slide down. And this beautiful, cool girl immediately, to even the most casual observer, becomes an absolute monstrous killer. And if this man were capable of sinking any more into the floor, he would. And he trembles visibly. And he's like, okay.
And name.
I'll tell you anything.
Name. Now. Come on.
Christ, Esther, I think he's scared already.
They didn't really give me any names. They just gave me a phone number. They told me when I saw Jerry. They told me when I saw Jerry to give him to call him, and I did. And they
So
did. And
unfortunate for you.
the number's in my phone. I'm like, I can call him, or I can not call him, or I can just.
I have a feeling he might be useful to us for a little bit longer.
Nope, just his phone.
I cut my wrist and I just shove it on his mouth.
Well, that's one way to do it there. While this is happening, can I have phoned in whatever? I don't know how this would work, but I assume with lots of money, I could have somebody deliver a fancy vehicle and leave it there so they don't have to see us getting into it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's do that.
It is true, you have no cell phone service down here, but you do see behind the bar there is a very large, old-timey, like, take the hook off and hold it to one ear and talk phone.
You
It's
guys,
not hipster when it's vintage.
you guys have Wi-Fi?
It's more hipster.
I don't think that checks out.
Yes, but when you ask, do you have Wi-Fi, Gigolo looks at you and he's like, actually, yeah, we do.
Yeah. I don't need to know if you could just put it in, I'd be most grateful.
I tell you what, I think you'll find if you try and use your phone right now, the signal will work.
And sure enough, when you look at it, you've got bars.
Oh, well, that's what a coincidence that is, huh?
Yes, Dimitri.
I'd like to look at Gigolo and this man turned us in. Yes.
He did, yeah.
And then I want to shove my fingers through his eyes.
So, to be clear, and I'm not saying don't, but just so this is something that Vampire Dimitri would know, the act of having fed a mortal his blood by Hugo has made this man a ghoul and one step bloodbound him to Hugo. Doesn't mean you can't kill him. But he is, at least temporarily, at least somewhat tamed by Hugo. Although you super can kill him. I just want you to be clear on the fact that that is what happened by the act of Hugo giving it
I'd
blood.
really like it if maybe he stalked me for a while and I stalked him back, so he knows what that feels like. I want to know everything he's doing. I'm gonna be his #1 fan. I'm gonna take all the photos. I will always see him.
I don't know that that'll work how you're planning, Hugo.
I don't know. I think that's a brilliant idea, Hugo. You know, you keep surprising me.
We don't have time to stalk anyone. It takes dedication and hours and.
Yay! Go, Hugo, go!
It's like all the
I got all
nos,
kinds of
all
time.
the nos appear again, and they're like, nowhere near as time consuming as you think, you know? Right?
Yeah, that's all we. Come on, man. I've stared at a crypt for like 300 years. I'm good on time. I pat him down. I'm looking for like dark glasses or something. Yeah, just anything.
It's his glasses.
Yeah.
Yes, this giant of a nos also sort of reaches in and pulls out what look almost cartoonishly tiny spectacles in his gargantuan hand and sort of hand them to you. Yes.
Of this guy?
The guy.
stalker?
Yep, of Seth Smithson. Yeah.
So I want them to be dark glasses. I want them to be like super douchey, awful dark glasses. Can I get it?
I don't know if anyone in here would be. You know what? One of the Nas can produce.
Oh, I was hoping this victim, this guy right now, that we're torturing, that his blood bound to me.
He's just got lame wire spectacles. Yeah.
Oh,
Although I'm sure
bad.
someone around here could get you a pair of dark glasses.
No, that's fine. No.
Clan before sect. You know, they want the bit to work.
What's your name? Stalker.
He looks at you, and when he does, you see his eyes widen a bit when he's staring at you, sort of like a baby bird looking at its mother for the first time. And Hugo, you've been a kindred long enough to know that the act of blood binding someone actually requires 3 steps. You have to give them blood on 3 separate occasions. The first time they taste your vitae, he does become your ghoul. He does gain a fraction of your supernatural power. He does feel a supernatural connection with you, but it is somewhat light. It is similar to the awe that Cherry manifests in people, the infatuation. The second time you provide this blood, it is more along the lines of an intense fixation that he will believe is love. It doesn't have to be romantic love. It could be dedication to along the lines of what Avedon would feel for the vicar, her allegiance to her sire. The third application, however, crushes his will completely. And he is your instrument forever. And to do anything that is not in direct accordance with what you want takes supreme willpower and effort on his behalf.
Yeah, we're gonna go there. Yeah.
As he's looking at you, Hugo, you see white flaky patches start to form on his skin, and a couple of clumps of hair just fall right out while you're looking at him.
You look like how I feel.
And for the first time that he's down here, he does not look completely terrified, and he just looks at you and he says, okay, I'll tell you one more thing, but I wasn't supposed to say anything.
What's that?
They're at Cherry's house right now. They went to arrest her parents and ambush her when she got home. And that's a good place for us to stop.
That's exciting.
Sure, yeah, it's great. It's perfect place to stop. No, it's good.
Shouldn't
yes.
have parents, idiot.
That was your mistake. Human connections. Everyone else is like, we've cut those tethers.
We're gonna kick it over to World of Darkness, so everybody keep going with the vampire train.
Hey. So again, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for showing up and playing. Thank you all for being terrible.
You're welcome.
Wait.
True.
He's gonna be my baby boy for all time.
He legit will. As long as you keep feeding him blood, he won't die. So literally.
But he won't necessarily be in the big room.
Again, thank you to Level Up Dice for making this possible. Again, get your Vampire Clan dice and all sorts of other lovely accoutrements.
Back in the Day's new Kickstarter, it just started today.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
What's that all about?
Electropunk, original graphic novel, written by me and the arts by my co-creator Jeff Walmister. It is set in an alternative past based on the genius of Nikola Tesla. They fight monsters. They help people. It is they are the people that would come after the people that this story is about.
Great.
Yeah, which is valid. But yeah, Labor of Love. We've been working on it a very long time, and it is very near and dear to our hearts. So yeah, check out Electropunk on Kickstarter. Thank you, Diana, for the plug there. And I guess before we go, because we had to cut off super abruptly last time, let's just real quick tell people where to find you on the interwebs. And I will go in the reverse order this time. I will start with you, Mr. Todd Kenreck. Where can they find you, sir?
I am the creative manager at D&D Beyond. I am behind all the creative chicanery that is happening over there. I also have my own Twitch channel now, where I sometimes play Sea of Thieves, and I steal everyone's loot, and then I sink it to the ocean without turning it in, because I am a demon.
Hugo,
I'm
the
a terrible
prequel.
human person.
It's Hugo's origin story. It's apparently on your Twitch.
Some people just want to see the world burn, and I just want to see... I just want to see all your loot just sink uselessly to the bottom of the ocean so desperately.
You do it in front of them, because that would be the ideal, like, just...
True.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I do sometimes.
Nice.
Well,
not a good person in games.
And your handle on the socials?
Oh yeah, it's Todd Kenreck, and also follow my wonderful, beautiful wife Megan Kenreck. I believe it's Kenrecked on Twitter because
she's a badass.
Yeah, because she's amazing.
And
she's also looking for a job right now, actually. If you're looking for anyone who's like a digital artist or a graphics person or does color retouching or product photography, she's out there right now. So. And
you guys sell super dope shirts. Where can they get
your
shirts?
That is also true. She designs a bunch of really dope shirts. So.
Where can they get those dope shirts?
On Teespring.
Yeah,
she handles all that stuff. Yeah.
I retweeted it. He's retweeted it. You can find it. Yes,
I'm a horrible husband.
That's true. No, but you're just bad at the technology. You're archaic. It's fine.
I'm 1,000 years old.
Emily.
Emily the Spoon. That's where you can find me everywhere. Emily the Spoon. The end.
Very valid. Serving Toreador realness. Yes. Justus.
I don't really do much. This is it.
Instagram. Don't you even lie.
You can find me on Instagram as Stashmandu.
That makes sense.
And it's a lot of pictures of my mustache. But
it deserves a lot of pictures.
Yes. That also makes sense.
Mando, like Mandalorian.
Yeah, Mason.
Yeah, that's what it means.
I thought that's what it was this whole time.
Let's go with that.
You can find me on WizardRex TV here on Twitch. All the other places, it varies between WizardRex and WizardRex TV, depending on whether they let me register it or not. I do D&D and Call of Cthulhu, fun stuff like that. So, yeah.
May.
Hi there, I'm Leigh Damage. You can find me right here, Leigh Damage, on all the socials. So check that out.
In Denver by Night, your Vampire the Masquerade stream, Wednesday nights.
Yes, on Wednesday nights, you can catch me on Denver by Night on Twitch.com/QueueTimes. On Thursday, you can catch me on a Darkened Wish, Dungeons and Dragons, hosted and DM'd by B. Dave Walters right here. On Fridays, we are here right before the wonderful LA by Night that is coming up right after us. And I think that's it for me as of right now. Oh, and I also have a Patreon where I storytell games and do all kinds of wonderful vampire things. And right now I'm currently also streaming Bloodlines on my Twitch, my /Melee Damage Twitch, and I'm just up all night playing vampire things. That's what I do.
I mean, who among us isn't, right? That's yes. And last but certainly not least, Diana.
I'm not last, B-Dave. You're last. But I am here. So anytime Level Up Dice is streaming, that's me. I also play in Mason's Thursday night Call of Cthulhu game over at WizardRex TV. You can find me on Twitter mostly, DiMicco Diana. It's a pretty unique name, so I don't think there's too many out there. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
Well, the 6th Either way, last epilogue of LA by Night is playing tonight. It is Annabelle. She gets a visit from her sire Carver. So let's jump on over there and partake. Everything else, I'm at B. Dave Walters, and we'll see y'all next week.
We can find you.
Thank
but
you
you
all.
have to keep waiting for a second because it takes a sec for the raid to kick in. And there we go. Now it's going to raid.
Hey, there we go. Now we're doing the right hand thing.
Now we're done.